Shit. That's all I can say.
I feel you.
It's always some shit, B. I'm super late. We should have did this. This should already be over with right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think this is like a omen. Like the last fucking Nas album we're gonna talk about. And
For now.
for now, you know what I'm
KD3 is
saying?
coming in like 2 weeks and shit.
Crazy man. Hopefully it's good.
Yeah, because I was looking at myself like, yo, this nigga okay
I
and
was
shit.
I was just handling some bullshit going on, man. It's just niggas gonna be niggas. That's all I can say. Niggas.
I got
You
you.
know
I
what I
feel
mean?
you.
Niggas is just jealous of other people and they shouldn't be. That's basically what it's come down to. It. You know
Wow.
what I mean?
Well, I feel you. I'll try not to be too long with this shit because
It's
we
all
still got to
good.
do like top 10 MCs
Oh yeah,
too.
that's right. Top now that's what I want to talk. Top 10 MCs all time. That's what they came to see. They didn't come to here was talk about Nasir.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Because I was trying to work on this fucking beef episode. Like I was trying to work on this beef episode too. Then
Right.
I was going through some family shit myself too earlier.
It's just it's like um you and me are like best friends. It's like if I have you as a best friend and another best friend that I have might be jealous of you. That's just basically what it is. And it's been going on for like 20 years and I'm tired of it. And it's come down to the point where like I had to tell the nigga like, yo, like if we do this again, I'm going to put you on blast online. But people forget I'm on these many different platforms now. You want to sit
Yeah.
up there and talk shit, I can do the same thing. I won't think nothing of it. I have to like threaten this nigga now, like, yo, like you being jealous of another best friend that I have is insane to me and it's gay. You know what
Is
I'm saying?
it
Because if you're a grown ass man, you should never be jealous of another grown ass man,
is it you know
especially
who?
one that you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Is it you know who?
It's not nobody from the internet. This is like a childhood friend of mine from like second grade.
Oh shit.
But he's been in his ways about people that I consider best friends for many years, and I'm tired of it. And I have to tell him, I'm like, yo, I will put you on blast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gonna really hit my guts then. You know what I'm saying? Like don't fuck with me. You
What
know
I'm
what I'm
trying to
saying? Like it's
yeah.
just a bunch of like trolling and bullshit that he's doing. And you know what I'm saying, for somebody else that I consider a best friend, and I'm like, I just like, yo, like you're somebody's dad now. You got a baby. Is that what you're gonna teach her? You're gonna teach her to troll people online and hate on people that you don't even fucking know. You know what I'm saying?
And he has a problem with me.
No, not you. I'm
Oh,
talking about it would be like if me and you are best friends and I have
yeah.
another best friend that didn't like you, and I would be like, yo, like, what's your problem with Reg again? Because you
Man,
don't
I've
like
been
him.
through that. I've been through that shit all the time, man.
Yeah. But it's like that's the bullshit that's going on. And I'm like, yo, like, do you really want me to put you on blast online? Because if
Yeah,
once I
yeah.
do, you really gonna hate my guts. You're not gonna want to talk to me ever again. And I'm fine with that. Because if I've been telling you for 20 years that this person that I consider a best friend is my people's, that's all that matters. If I consider you family and you my people's, that's all that should matter. It shouldn't be, oh well, you know, I don't like him. Why you hanging out with this person? And if anybody that knows me and I'm cool with anybody and I consider them fam and people's, that's all that should matter.
Right.
Because they all cool with me. It shouldn't be you don't like this person because I'm, you know what I'm saying? Nah, man, that shit ain't gonna fly with me. And I don't care how long I've known you. If I feel like I got to keep telling you the same thing, I'm gonna cut you off for good.
Yeah, it's like
But I'm gonna cut him off in my own way. Like, yo, if I gotta tell you one more time, I'm going online to do it. So everybody see the petty bullshit that you're doing.
yeah,
You
man.
know what I mean? Yes, I
What?
want to make it a big spectacle so everybody knows. Don't fuck with this person ever in your life because I've been friends with him since second grade, and I got to go through this bullshit with him over and over again. That shouldn't happen. I'm like, you a grown ass man. Why are you jealous of another grown ass man? Why? Like, especially one that don't know you and don't know you exist. Like, why the fuck would you be hating on somebody that you don't know? This is the bullshit that we see on social media, day in and day out. Like people just troll other people and don't know a damn thing about them, but they can't stand their guts.
I understand where you're coming from.
You know what I
Trust,
mean?
believe.
So yeah, I would do that for anybody I consider. I would do that for Reg. I would do that for you, Reg, or for Mike, whoever that I consider people's. Like, why are you hating on this person and you don't know a damn thing about them? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So that's the bullshit that I was dealing with.
I'm sorry you had to go through that shit, boss.
Yeah. It's been an ongoing thing, but I said like yo, like sometimes you gotta cut niggas off that you really don't want to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To make them see shit, and maybe they'll see shit, but it's like I'm not gonna keep tolerating the same bullshit over and over again, especially when it's been a ongoing thing for many years and you're not getting the point. So maybe I gotta do it in an extravagant way where I gotta go online and embarrass them so that people could see like, yo, this person is a shiesty motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get embarrassed by social media embarrassing them. Because
I said go
what I'm
for it.
saying is not registering when I'm saying it. So I gotta do it on a grand scale so that everybody see it.
I say go for it, man.
You know what I mean? Then you really gonna hate my fucking guts then. But I tried to tell you, you didn't want to do it my way. You didn't want to do it quietly. So I gotta do it on a big scale and make fucking noise so everybody see the bitch that's going on. Niggas acting like bitches and they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I agree with you on that shit, boss.
You know,
Fuck.
Mike was good.
Fuck. 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 Come on. People are just asinine. I cut so many people
Mhm.
off this fucking year, and I'm not looking back.
It's crazy, yo. Who you thought I was talking about?
The motherfucker,
No,
because you
no, it's
said
not
Finn,
him.
but just
Nah, it
yeah,
wasn't. Nah, he ain't like that. He ain't brave enough to come out his face and say shit to me.
yeah, I know he a
You know what
bitch.
I'm saying? I'm more of like his mentor, but even being his mentor, niggas that still don't listen.
Yeah, motherfucker, he was talking slick shits about me and stuff like that. I never talked about
Right,
this motherfucker before and stuff too. So that's why I'm just like he a bitch to me. I don't
right.
give. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know he's your mentee. I don't know that, but he a bitch to me.
Yeah. Well, these kids are stubborn, but they're gonna learn. They're gonna have to. They want to be. They want to be a part of this culture.
Right.
You know.
Whew, Jesus Christ. It's not even that, man. Whew, I'm just trying to get my shit together.
Right.
Trying to get ready for this fucking trip Thursday. And my birthday's next week and shit. Homecoming's next
Nice.
week. A lot of shit gonna get closed.
Oh, you got homecoming.
Yep, for my school. And then my niece is
Nice.
getting baptized on the 13th and shit. So
Oh
yeah.
wow, you got a lot of stuff going on, Unc.
Yeah, that's why I just want to go out of town just to rejuvenate and shit.
Right.
Cause
Right.
you
I
know,
feel you.
while we were trying to watch Friday on HBO Max, but I'm kind of pissed because it's not a director's cut that I like. But I'm just like, you know what? I'll go
The
fuck.
director's cut for that.
Yeah, I have a director's cut on my laptop and shit like that.
What did they
Honestly,
What did they leave out of the original cut?
um, director's cut. It has more of like in the intro, there's
Mm,
like more scenes in the neighborhood when John Witherspoon is giving his little speech. He
right.
has more shit to say and stuff like that. He's like, "You ate my dinner." It's like you ate my grapes or some shit like that too. It's mostly like scenes in the beginning that's like useful and stuff like that too. But I have the director's cut downloaded on my laptop, but I have to do some shit, of course, on my laptop. So that's why I'm just trying to watch some bullshit just to keep me entertained and shit on HBO Max. But Friday is Friday, so it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna start this shit in about like 3 minutes because, like I said, I got a lot of shit to do tonight. Then I gotta get up early because my grandma. Shout out to my grandma. You know, she's was going through some shit in the hospital and stuff like that too. So
Oh,
she's good though. She's good.
get well soon, Granny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah, yeah.
This bullshit album. Oh my god.
Where Ronnie at? He sleeping?
Those hella niggas here.
The usuals are here. Sam is gonna be here, and Q is here with his Domino's pizza and shit.
Lord have mercy. I was gonna tell you. I was gonna tell you a crazy story too.
What happened? What can it get any crazier? Like,
Let's get through the review first
okay,
because we already wasting a lot of time. But I'm ready whenever you are.
all right.
What's up, YouTube? How's everyone doing this lovely Monday morning? This your boy Reg in the building. Got my homeboy Try with me.
Go.
Yeah, we're gonna conclude Nas week with possibly his worst studio album. Honestly, not even gonna hold y'all.
Right, let's get to it.
Yeah, a lot of people hate on Nostradamus. Niggas hate on Untitled. I'd rather listen to those albums.
Untitled
Yeah,
was dope. I'm glad we did that review because
yeah,
for years I remember listening to it and not liking it, and then going back and hearing it and hearing how relevant it is now, especially in today's society. That's a solid album.
yeah. It's not a classic. It's just
Right.
a fucking solid album and stuff like that too. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like to me, that's his American Gangster because everyone likes to say American Gangster was okay and stuff like that too, but that was the closest Jay would ever get back to that Reasonable Doubt kind of style and stuff like that. Whereas with Untitled, we never really hear Nas go political with his rhymes like that and shit too. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But y'all can check out the reviews and stuff. So I really don't want to mention Kanye West again on this channel, but I guess we have to. Nasir, everybody. 2018, this album came out. Excuse me. 6 years after Life is Good. His first album on Mass Appeal, which is his own label and stuff. This album came out June 15th, 2018. It did not have no singles as far as I know. I mean,
It,
it had a few radio hits and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like I guess you can say maybe Bonjour, Cop Shop the Kid, but there really wasn't really no singles like that, honestly, which is
Right.
kind of surprising. But hey, of course, this was part of Kanye's Wyoming sessions and stuff like that too, which I'm gonna get more into that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Producers include Kanye West, of course, Andrew Dawson, Benny Blanco, Boogs the Beast. Jesus Christ. Cashmere Cat, Che Pope, Eric Danchik, Dot the Genius, Evan Mass, Mike Dean, and Plain Pat. Jesus Christ. Guest appearances include Puffy, 70. I don't even know how to say this, motherfucker. I'm gonna say 70 Shape. Kanye West, Tony Williams, and The Dream. Yeah. So after the release of Life is Good, Nas was pretty much enjoying his success. He was trying to leave Def Jam Records because he was trying to work on his final album from Def Jam and stuff like that too. See, this is the thing. Originally, it was supposed to have been a collab album between Primo and Nas,
That's
which
the
we've been
album we
hearing
should
about.
have got. We should have got that 20 years ago though.
Yeah, which that album was supposed to have came out eons ago, but
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, he was supposed to work on a collab with either him and Primo. I heard him and Pete Rock, of course, but we ended up getting shit with Kanye. But I'm gonna
He had
get
some
more to
type
that.
of drama with Pete though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, 2014, he dropped the Time is Illmatic documentary and stuff like that for the 20th anniversary, of course, which that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna hold you, but this was around the time where I think he said he was gonna stop. He was gonna stop like celebrating Illmatic and stuff like that too.
So
Which
serious.
you said what?
Jesus Christ. He yo, I man, he should have been celebrating his other classics for years and he
Exactly,
never did that shit.
exactly.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I forgot to mention, he was supposed to have also done a collab album with Common called like Nas.com or some shit like
Yes.
that. But
I do remember because after they did the ghetto, was it
Ghetto Dreams, yeah,
Ghetto Dreams? Yeah, that was on Common's album, and then remember reading that online that they were doing a collab album. It never happened.
yeah. And also 2013, Life is Good was nominated for Best Rap Album, but it lost. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it lost to. Oh wow, it wasn't what I thought. It lost to Drake's Take Care. Jesus, one of the few Drake albums I can like, but
Right.
over Life is Good. Hell, over God Forgives I Don't. Really?
Yeah.
Get the
Right.
fuck out.
Rick Ross should have won that.
Hell, even Nas or Rick Ross, honestly.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought it lost to Macklemore's album, but that was the year after because
Yeah.
Macklemore was going against Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick. Yeah.
To this day, the worst Grammy upset in hip hop history. To this day, I don't
Yes.
give a
I
fuck what no
agree.
one says.
I agree. And I have that Macklemore and Ryan Lewis album. It was good, but not better than Good Kid, Mad City.
It was alright. It was alright.
Not
Yeah,
to
I
it
mean,
won all those major awards. I'm like, this album is not better than Good
it
Kid, Mad
was
City.
it did not deserve all those major
No,
awards. I'm gonna be real
no.
with you. Where's Macklemore now? Where is he
He's
now?
out.
I'm gonna be
He's
real.
still
Where
waiting
is
for
he?
Ryan Lewis.
Jesus Christ. All right. So around this time too, he was one of the executive producers for the short-lived and Netflix show The Get Down, which just like Lovecraft County I mentioned in one of the CD recaps I did.
Yeah.
It's a shame that got canceled and stuff like that
Mhm.
too, but
Right.
Netflix has other crap that I'm gonna leave right there.
Right.
So, he took some time off, to get Mass Appeal Records out of the way. So it wasn't revealed until one of Khaled's albums. Khaled had his song called Nas Album Done or some shit like that. And that's got like a lot of people, saying, oh shit, Nas about to drop a new album. Mind you, this was from Khaled's 2016 album called Major Key. And then the next year, his brother Jungle, Nas's brother Jungle, saying that, Nas album almost done and stuff like that too. So then it was announced the next year that Kanye went renting out the studio or this farm or whatever in Wyoming, and he was gonna in a whole month of June, he was gonna like drop like 5 albums because he had, of course, Pusha T's Daytona, which that's a dope album in my opinion, fucking classic in my fucking
Yeah.
opinion. I don't give a fuck what no one says, and the
Right.
strongest album to come out from the whole Wyoming sessions. Of course, he had Nasir, that came out after Kanye's Ye album, which trash. That album was trash. Then he had the Kid See Ghost with him and Kid Cudi, which that was a pretty good album too. I'm not gonna hold
Yeah,
you.
that
That
was
was
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the few Kid Cudi projects I actually like
Yeah.
at post to 2009, post 2009. And then you had Tiana Taylor's album. Well, it was like KT something,
Yeah.
which
I
that one.
actually enjoyed that, but I've never been a fan of hers. But I actually listened to that album and it was good.
Yeah, that album was okay. Some of
Yeah.
the production was I kind of prefer the album she came out with after the one from 2020, the album.
Right.
I felt that was a much better solid work, but whenever I get that album, I'm gonna definitely do a review on that one.
Okay.
So with Daytona being a dope album and stuff like that, everybody was just like, okay, what he is he gonna come out with next? Then Kanye dropped the stupid ass Ye album, which I did not like that album and stuff like that. Like when it comes to Kanye, anything after Watch the Throne, I have a very mixed reaction. Like it just wasn't good after Watch the Throne. Like Yeezus, Pablo, all that trash. I didn't even that fucking Jesus is King bullshit. I didn't care for none of that and stuff like that too.
Mhm.
So Nasir had come out, and the thing I remember this day,
Mhm.
it was like Nasir. It was supposed to come out at midnight, but see, they had like a lot of issues streaming wise, so they had like a whole listening party
Right.
on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, and stuff like that too.
Right.
I remember this shit too. And so the track listing was very different. But then the official album didn't come out until like later on that day or close to Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And Jesus, like I mentioned before, very disappointed with that album, honestly.
Right.
Like I've talked about this album for a while and stuff like that because I never actually done a review on this album. Never
Mhm.
actually done a review on this channel. But
Right.
album was just fucking. There's only like two songs I like from this album. That's just how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like I'm just thinking to myself, how you have Nas, one of the greatest rappers or MCs of all time. This was probably the most anticipated album from this whole Wyoming sessions. I'm not even gonna hold
Right.
you.
Mhm.
I was very, 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 very waiting for this album. After hearing Daytona, I was just like, yo, Kanye guy's gonna get some heat from Nas. I'm gonna be fucking real with you. Then what was the shit? Then he dropped this Ye album, which I was kind of like, maybe this will be the only bad one. Maybe this will be the only bad one from this fucking 5 album session and stuff like that. Then this album came out, and I'm just looking at
Mhm.
myself like, Jesus Christ, this was just not good. It was not good whatsoever. I'm actually going to do this review from my phone and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm going to change right quick.
Sam said I like no songs on this album.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I got some shit to do on my laptop, so I'm just going to do this shit from my phone. So yeah, I was just so disappointed. And I'm thinking to myself, 4 years, no, excuse me, 6 years, we've been waiting for some shit like this. Six
Right.
fucking years.
Right.
And the way how Kanye wanted to do this album, he wanted to represent the seven deadly sins and stuff like that. That's why all the albums
He
like
didn't do a good job of it on this album.
this whole album was a sin, honestly. Like, ugh. Like at this time he was so fucking busy making his slave clothing brand and some shit like that. So
Right.
fucking busy eating Kim Kardashian's pussy and making fucking babies, and now you're regretting that fucking shit. Maybe you should have done some fucking better beats for this fucking project and some shit like that. Like,
Right.
I'm fucking sorry. Like, I know people don't like to hear me use words like pussy. I know that, but hey, I don't give a flying fuck. I don't give a flying fuck and shit
Right.
like that. Damn, I just had the album cover. Most of the shit. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull up the album cover.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's gonna be a trash review tonight. Look at that. Look at that cover. You would think you're gonna get something classic with that album cover, and we didn't get.
So apparently it's not gonna work through my phone. So y'all know what the album cover looks like.
Right.
It just
A bunch
has
of
all
kids
the
holding guns in Brazil or something.
they should have used those gun to shoot Kanye for this trash ass album, honestly. All right, 7 songs. Lucky number 7. Let's get this shit over with. All right, track number 1, Not For Radio, featuring Puffy and 070 Shake, whatever his fucking bitch ass name is. Uh, I actually like this song. I'm not gonna hold you. I actually like this song. This is actually one of the 2 songs I can honestly say I like because, for one, it has like a very gritty feel to it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely the no mainstream, like Puffy yelling and stuff like that too. It kind of gave me "Hate Me Now" kind of vibes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, just pretty much just talking about what motherfuckers be going through in the record industry, modern day slavery and stuff like that too. I can accept this song, my
Mm,
opinion.
I didn't like it.
Uh,
No, I didn't like the beat. I didn't like nothing. I didn't have him Diddy on there. I'm like, oh god. So we starting this album off bad from track one. Once you got Puffy on any track with him, and
uh,
nah, I didn't care for this one.
Definitely. Now, cop shot the kid, cop shot the kid, cop shot the kid, whatever. Only
Mm,
Kanye can make me get annoyed with Slick Rick and Richard Pryor. Uh, Lord have fucking merciful Jesus Christ. Cop shot the kid. Oh, it's not even no melody. First of all, the beat is literally Slick Rick
yeah,
saying cop shot the kid. Cop shot the kid. Like, y'all know the sample, the children's story sample,
yeah,
which honestly that song's been sampled so many times in hip hop and R&B. It's not even funny. I
yeah.
kind of felt like Montel Jordan did it the best.
Exactly.
I'm not even the biggest Montel Jordan fan like that, hmm. But yeah, man, like this is just so annoying. And this is one of the main issues, the production on
Right.
this album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first of all, the beat needs like a melody, some bass or something. It's just cop shot the kid, cop shot the kid, cop shot. Like, it was so fucking annoying. Like, Jesus
Facts.
Christ.
Facts. Yeah. I just thought it's the most horrible way to use a Slick Rick sample. And
I
it's
agree.
almost like he just had the record on repeat, and that was the whole damn beat. He just told Nas, "Look, I got the record on repeat for this part here in the Slick Rick song. Just rap over that." I just thought it was whack. It was lazy production, and they
Very
actually did a
late.
video for this. I'm like, this was never gonna be no hit record. They
He
wasted
did a
money
video
doing
for this shit?
doing a video.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a video for this. He did a video for this. I'm like, for what? There wasn't playing this anywhere. This was not gonna ever be no big hit record from this album. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? And like if he had used this the children's story sample the way that Montel Jordan record before it would be a classic because he sang over that children's story beat with it, and he had like a West Coast flavor to it, and that's a classic record. Everybody knows that Montel Jordan song. But if Kanye had used that record in the same way and having Nas rhyme on it, it would have been good. But he just took that one part of the song and made a beat out of it, and it just sounded like crap.
I agree.
And I was like, we got some of the worst Kanye production on this EP or album, whatever the hell it is. Not a good record, and they wasted their money even doing a video.
He didn't do shit for Bon Jovi. This piece of shit deserves a fucking review about video. Really?
I don't know.
Niggas are crazy. Shit. Track number 3, White Label. I didn't like this track at all. I didn't like this
I thought
track
it was
at
like,
all.
yeah.
You said
I
what?
think this song should have been for Pushers, should have been for Daytona, because Pusher would have killed it. I don't think it was made for Nas. He didn't sound right on the beat. Like there's many other MCs I could have thought that could have used it. Not for Nas though.
Yeah, man. What up, Sean? How you doing?
Good.
Shit. Yeah, man. He said Planet Asia did the sample better. I never heard of that. So what song did he use it for?
Yeah, I don't think I heard that one either. Planet Asia is dope. Though he's been putting out some fire lately.
I actually gotta get into more of this shit because I'm not gonna hold
Yeah.
you. I've not really heard a Planet Asia album like that. So
Mhm. I've heard a couple like the album he did with
woo,
Paulo Brown, Anchovies was great. You know, the Cali Agent stuff he's done in in the 2000s, and the album he did with Muggs was good. So I've heard like even the recent stuff he's doing now for his label, his own label or whatever. But he's severely slept on though.
definitely. Okay. Now, to nobody's surprise, this is actually my favorite song off this album, Bonjour. Oh my God.
Right,
This is the shit I wanted to hear from the album. That
right,
dun dun. I love that beat, man. That fucking beat. Like, you see what happened with Kanye? First of all, there's like six motherfuckers for this who made this beat. Kanye, Mike Dean, Johan Lennox. Okay, I have to say this. I have to fucking say this and shit.
uh-huh.
This day and age, why does it need hella niggas making one fucking beat?
Exactly.
Like, you know, in a lot of recent albums we talked about, it's like it's always like we see the credits and shit. It's always like three motherfuckers and
Right.
stuff like that. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know who was really the main mastermind behind this record, but I want to say Mike Dean. It definitely has like a Mike Dean kind of feel to it.
Right.
But Kanye, I don't think Kanye can really do some shit like this, like by himself in this day and age. But who knows? Um,
But
this
but
track
wasn't he
Bonjour
doing
is
that for
very
a while
dope.
though? Like, wasn't there a time when he was like using other co-producers?
Yeah, he was, but at the
Uh-huh.
same time, it wasn't like motherfucking five niggas on the beat, if that makes sense and shit.
Right.
Shit, but yeah, man, this was a very dope record and stuff like that. One thing I got about this is like how one deals with lust, especially from other women and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Definitely has like a very mafioso kind of feel to it. You know, it's kind of reminiscent of like maybe I Am and stuff. Like I
Right.
don't know, man. It's kind of very reminiscent about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So very smooth. Probably one of the few, the only track on this album I can pretty probably put as among his greatest songs. So yeah, man, I like this one.
This one was pretty decent, and I like the beat. It sounded like he was on his Nas Escobar shit on this one, but more, more grown up, and he was talking that fly shit on there. And I'm like, well, what if the whole EP sounded like this? It would have been great.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, we got that song that was a gem out of the bad apples in the bunch.
Yeah, I definitely understand that your feeling about that shit. Um, just letting y'all know, there's not really many quotable lines on this album either. So
I ain't quote shit.
it was,
I ain't quote
yeah, I
nothing
ain't
on here.
quoting. Yeah,
Never.
man. Next track, Everything. Probably one of the worst Nas songs I've heard in recent history. This features Kanye West and oh, by the way, Bonjour featured Tony Williams singing.
Yeah.
Everything featured Kanye West and a Dream and stuff like that. You know, Dream was taking a break from writing for Beyonce and stuff like that too. So um honestly, man, they should have just kept this on the burner. It was mostly just Kanye and Dream singing and stuff like
Yes.
that.
That part I don't like because when they start off the song, it was too much Kanye and the Dream, and then Nas comes in later on. It didn't even feel like his own song. It felt like he was
It
featuring
didn't.
on a Kanye record.
Very disrespectful.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did
I
not like
didn't
this.
I didn't like Kanye singing on it either.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm
It gave
saying?
me 808s and Heartbreak. And I believe it or not, I actually like that album.
I love that album, but
But only for
but he
Kanye.
he used auto tune well on that album, but on this he sounded horrible.
Yeah.
And the way just the way that they started off that track, and it was way too much Kanye in the Dream to start off that song. They should have came in like on the middle part of the song, or like, maybe you do like a bridge for the song and then they come in. But the way that they started it off, it was like a Kanye featuring the Dream and Nas. I'm like, this is supposed to be Nas album. What the fuck is? Why is Dream getting like, you know what I'm saying, most of the mic time for this record?
I
You
agree.
know,
Yeah, man. I definitely agree with you about that and stuff like that. This motherfucking track, Adam and Eve. I know a lot of fans like this song and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This was decent, not too bad, but decent. Just talking about, oh, by the way, this features the dream as well too.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Just him using like a lot of biblical imagery and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much just, a day by day, just day by day shit he was just doing and stuff like that. Just eating some very fancy food and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about, crapping a legacy and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? I was decent and stuff like that. I wasn't really too crazy about this.
yeah, it was okay. Nothing spectacular at all with none of these songs.
I agree.
You know,
And the last song, Simple Things, one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. It's the simple things. It's the simple
that was
things
dumb.
in life. It's the simple things. I was like, Nas, no.
Yeah,
What are you doing? No, 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 no,
uh,
no. How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. No, 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 no. Niggas say, yeah, 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 yeah. No matter how many ways I say no, it's not gonna force me to like the song.
yeah,
I just can't. I
it was
can't.
bad. It
It'll
was bad.
suck. Like
Not good.
this is what you end. This is what you end your album with. That album we waited for fucking 6 years. This is what you end this shit with, nigga. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'd rather listen to Migos Culture than this.
Oh God,
The first Culture.
I haven't heard any.
I haven't heard the second one, but I'm not the biggest Migos fan like that. But still,
Right.
this is just trash.
Yeah.
Bad. Not Michael Jackson bad.
This
Bad.
was bad. This was bad.
Fuck out of here.
This was bad.
One of the worst albums I've ever heard in my fucking life, man. I was fucking mad when I heard this shit, yo. I was like, yo, this is when I stayed up 3 o'clock in the morning just for this fucking shit.
Right. For
And I
this.
love Nas. I love Nas. You guys, when I say shit like this, I'm an honest motherfucking fan.
Right.
I'm an honest motherfucking fan. Like,
Yeah.
if I can give like albums like Nostradamus, Street Disciple another chance, and I can somewhat get what he's trying to do with that. Mind you, Street Disciple was an album that it took me years to really. I'm not going to say I fully appreciate, but I can respect it.
Right.
You want to do something different and stuff like that too. I can respect it, but
hmm
this shit is 7. How is this the worst album? It's only 7 motherfucking songs.
Can you
Like,
imagine if it was 14? Or what other 7 tracks could have been whack on for the other 7?
Jesus Christ. Like, Jesus Christ, man. This is what you need. See, this is why when King's Disease came out, I was just like, yeah, he's back. Like when King's Disease 1 came out, it was just like, okay, this was good, not great. It was
Right.
good, but it was not great. King's Disease 2, I'm just like, yes, yes. Then Nasty, excuse me, not Nasty, Magic.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he back. He
Be back.
just did not need Kanye.
Right.
And mind you, Kanye did some shit on Hip Hop is Dead. And
That was good.
honestly, I'm proud of the shit he did. Like, Still Dreaming?
Still Dreaming was fire. Yeah.
Jesus. Like, this is just a one mic. No pun intended.
Yeah. Just
Toilet
just
tissue.
trash, man. It's not too much to say about a bad album. It was just bad. It was just. I don't feel like he sounded focused. It didn't sound inspired. None of the songs sounded great. The
I
production
agree.
was horrible. This might be Kanye's worst produced album ever, like for anybody. Because I've heard him do shit for Kid Cudi that was better than this shit. I've heard him do shit for Pusha T that was better than this shit. You know what I'm saying? He's done shit for countless artists. For Jay, Blueprint One is a classic. What
What up,
happened with
Koozie?
this? You know what I mean? He's done shit for everybody in the game. Clips and Beyonce and you know what I'm saying? Dilated Peoples. Never have I ever said when listening to this album that this is the worst Kanye production ever for any album of any genre. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even a Tiana Taylor fan, and I enjoyed the album he produced for her more than this shit because that's how bad it was. You know what I'm saying? So when people ask us what's the worst Nas album, because I know it's gonna happen again, they always do. This is the worst Nas album, not Nostradamus. Hip Hop is Dead had some joints, but that I don't like. I thought that was a bad album also. But even with Hip Hop is Dead, there's like a good 4 or 5 songs that I enjoyed off of it. But this album, trash, trash. King's Disease, even with those first two, I'm not a fan of those like that. But they have some joints on there that was dope. Magic is a great album, but this is the worst Nas album ever. It
The
truly
worst.
is the worst ever out of all his albums. And I'm throwing in Lost Tapes too because that was not a good compilation. Like I said, the only joints I liked off of it was the RZA joints and the Pete Rock joint. But this, no, I don't think there's any playable joints on there. Bonjour was cool, but that's like 1 out of 7 joints. So if you buy this EP and it's 7 tracks, you're gonna buy it just for that one track. You know what I'm saying? You might as well
Exactly.
just stream that shit off of YouTube or Apple or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like this album, this project was garbage. Like I don't know what happened when Kanye was doing this project. I know he was doing all the projects together, but how did he get Daytona to be a classic? How did you do? You managed to get Kid Cudi in the studio to do Kid See Ghost, and that was one of my favorite Kid Cudi projects. And Kid Cudi, I like his early shit. He has some trash too, but Kid See Ghost was a banging album. How did you manage to pull off those 2 albums? And then even with Tiana Taylor's album, production was dope on there. And then when we come to this album, it's shit. You know what I'm saying? Even the Wyoming album, like I heard the Wyoming album, I'm calling the Wyoming album. You know what I'm saying? Because the album cover is like the Wyoming, mountains or whatever. But I even with that, I like that one better than this shit. And that wasn't a great album by no means. But this put everything about this album was bad. The album cover is bad. You know what I'm saying? I still don't get the album cover. Like what does the kids holding the guns have to do with Nas? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything about it was bad. So was this the last project he worked on when he was in Wyoming? Was this the first one? Was this the middle project? Something happened when he was doing this project compared to maybe he got overwhelmed doing a whole Nas project. And he shouldn't because like the fact that when I've said it on here before, Blueprint One wouldn't be a classic without Kanye. Kanye had the best joints on that album. That's what made Blueprint a classic because of Kanye. So if you wasn't overwhelmed, and that's Kanye coming into the Rock at that time. If you wasn't overwhelmed by working with a goat like Jay, you can't be over. Don't you can't tell me that you was overwhelmed working with Nas. If anything, I would think that would be on his wish list. Like like oh, I'm doing a whole project with Nas. Check. Let me scratch that off the list. And he dropped the ball with this project. That's as simple as that. Like it just wasn't good. So for me, I don't even want to give. I'm not giving it no mics. I just thought it was zero replay value on this album. You know what I'm saying? Like this is definitely not an album I would get. It's not an album I would put away and pull out and play at any point in time. I just thought it was a bad album.
Yeah, but
You know.
yes, I definitely agree with you. Man. Hell, even Jay Electronica made better beats.
Right. Even even
This
his
shit is
album
horrible.
with Jay, his album with Jay had some joints on there, but like when we people got caught up in the moment when he came out. Like, no, it wasn't the best album of the year. You know, they were comparing that shit to like Cuban Link. I'm like, no, not even. You know what I'm saying? But even that album had some joints.
Hell
This
no.
album was just trash. Like it was bad, bad. The worst Nas album ever. So now you heard it already. So there's no need for people to ask us, what is the worst Nas album in your opinion? I just told you. Nasir is the worst album by Nas. By far. It's not even close.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I definitely agree with you on stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? All right. So now we're gonna talk about top 10 MCs and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Give me 1 second. I gotta do something.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right, fuck it. Let's just get this one because now my software is trying to piss me off now. But hey, everyone's trying to piss me off today. So, all right. So our top 10 MCs. If you guys been following us for a bit, we've been doing this like top 50 MCs and stuff like that too. And this one, I really was trying to do a video for this by itself, but since Nasir was only going to be like 7 songs, I was like, you know what, let's just give them something for the people and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My number 10, I'm gonna definitely go with Big Daddy Kane. I feel like Kane, not only is he one of the best MCs, he's also one of the best writers in hip hop too, writing for cats like Biz Markie and what's her name? Roxanne Shante. His
Mm-hmm.
braggadocio style, you know, just the way he always raps like he's about to battle somebody and stuff like that too, Definitely very fucking dope and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I definitely love Kane, especially his first 2 albums are my favorites and
Yes.
stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? Especially Long Live the King. I know a lot of people want to say it's a Big Daddy thing, which actually honestly either or to me either or and stuff like that can go as my favorite. But those first 2 albums was definitely some of the best shit that he's ever done and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, that's my number 10 right there.
Okay. You got Kane. That's what's up. Um, number 10. Number 10 for me is Karis One. Karis One,
Mm,
definitely. Not even him, not so much like for him, even like his songs, but like this man is a great freestyler. Like I
yes,
remember there was an episode of Stretching by Beto where he came up to the studio and Supernatural was there. Supernat, if anybody know who Supernatural is, dope
yes,
underground artist, great freestyler as well. And Supernat bought up a SP 1200. And I think Lord Finesse was there also. I think Lord Finesse had brought up a SP 1200 as well to the studio. And they were just like picking beats out on the SP, playing them, and they were freestyling to them. And KRS like did it like it was nothing. Like he's just a natural freestyler. And I've always loved him, for that. You know what I'm saying? And because freestyling is hard and just when MCs can do it at the drop of a dime or like stretching Bobita would when they would have artists come up there like a Big L, rest in peace, or you know, Camp Low or Das Effects, they would have them freestyle to a beat and they would like pick a word. And whatever word that Bobito said, they would have to freestyle to that word. And KRS was like a natural at that. You know what I'm saying? And that's like a forgotten, I don't want to say it's a forgotten um art because there's people that still freestyling, but I feel like a lot of the freestyles end up being written for their song anyway. So you end up
yeah,
hearing it later on one of their tracks. So it's not really a freestyle then. You know what I'm saying? Because like if it's a freestyle, you're not going to use it later or memorize it later for one of your songs. You know what I mean? But he was always great at freestyling and his stage presence. Like that verses he did with Big Daddy Kane, top three, my top three. That was epic. Like to have them both at Barclays Center, and they both going at it. And KRS, you could tell from the moment he came on stage, similar to when the Locks came on stage for Dipset, like it was all battle. That's what he was about. He wasn't trying to, throw on no different outfits and all that. He was about battling, and he did that for the whole verses, and it turned out to be one of the best verses ever. And he's I've seen him live. He's great to see, great performer, on stage presence. His albums, the BDP albums, Sex and Violence and Criminal Minded and Edutainment. His solo stuff, Return to Boom Bap, Five My Classic in my opinion. His self-titled album from '95 was great. You know, I love and just the we need him. He's our Jesse Jackson. He's our Al Sharpton for hip hop. It's Chuck D. It's Keras One. Those are the leaders that we still need in this culture, especially now. We need them in this culture. You know what I'm saying? God forbid they ever close their eyes. Like we need those people still in this culture to what I mean to keep it pushing and to inform the youth on their hip hop history and the forefathers and even when it comes to like social and political things that go on in our community, Keras One is always there. You know what I'm saying? He's always there. You know what I'm saying? When you need somebody that's gonna speak out on black uh Black Lives Matter, he was doing that before that became a hashtag. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So he has to be in the top 10. I could, you know what I'm saying? Like definitely when 90s MCs was great, but I feel like the whole decade of 80s is forgotten about now because the 90s are so great. So because the 90s are so great, people forget all about the 80s. It's like wiped away from history. And that has to come back into the storyline. It has to come back. We have to put more respect on 80s artists when it comes to hip hop. Because if it wasn't for Keras One and Kane and LL and Rakim and G Rap, they wouldn't be a Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be a Conway and Benny, and these are the forefathers of rap that people forget about because they
Right.
want to be lazy and just straight to the '90s, and we got to put more respect on the '80s rap, man, because that's before that was the ever before it got commercial, before the bling bling ever and all that, and before record labels was you know what I'm saying, and record labels at that time was still being janky with those artists, but it got real janky in the '90s when you had Hammer going multi-platinum and Diddy and them. But '80s was like it was still in its purest form, and that's the era I grew up in before the '90s, and I gotta
Right.
have the '80s rappers in there, man. So Kara's definitely.
Yeah, a lot of my top 10 is filled with like a lot of 80s rap and stuff like that too.
Like,
All
even
right.
Kumo D. Kumo D is a legend. I mean, I know I say shit about Kumo D. Kumo D is a legend. You know what I'm saying? Kumo D definitely is in that conversation. I just feel like he got him putting himself in top 10 is ridiculous to me. But Kumo D is a legend.
Understandable. Understandable. And as much as I love Mo D, he's not in my top 10 either. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Just
but
saying.
you will put himself in number one though. That's what I'm saying. You know.
Yeah. Number 9, I'm gonna go with Ice Cube. Ice Cube, Ice Cube, Ice Cube, one of the most dominant voices when it comes to West Coast hip hop, next to Ice T and Tupac, in my opinion. Um, from NWA to his solo career, West Side Connection, his producing, he's just been one of the most prolific West Coast acts of all time. One thing I love about Cube was just the fact how he was just so in your face. He was so like he was very lyrical, but at the same time, you can tell he was very influenced by like Chuck D too. You know what I'm saying? Just by the way how he would deliver a message and stuff like that too with his music. And like I said, his writing, in my personal opinion, I feel like needs to get talked about too because like he wrote for cats like what's the name, NWA and shit like that. He helped co-write for Yo Yo. and stuff. Help co-write. Del the Funky Homo Sapien and shit too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then when it comes to his solo career, I mean, my God, like those first four Ice Cube albums, part of my fucking DNA and shit like that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh, he lost Reg. Ice Cube definitely is great.
sorry about that.
Yeah, you,
But
you
yeah,
you was telling us how great Ice Cube was.
yeah, I know, yeah. Like part of my personal favorite run when it comes to like hip hop album, consistent hip hop albums and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the shit he was saying in those albums, like songs like Colorblind,
Right.
one of my favorites from Death Certificate. We had to tear this motherfucker up. Very dope when it comes to like police brutality and shit like that too. Like definitely one of my favorites and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And another thing too, I loved his live performances. I feel
Yeah.
like his live performances, especially like hell, even like during like the West Side Connection era too, he always knew how to move the crowd and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I loved, he said in his interview, like he said that he always used to end his shows with "It was a good day" because a lot of his songs would be like very angry, very like in your face and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
definitely respect that shit. You know what I'm saying?
He did
So
that
yeah,
because I saw him. I did see him live. He did do It was a good day as the last song, and at Rock the Bells this year he did that as the last song as well. So that's how he closed out his show now with It Was a Good Day.
exactly. Yeah, man, that's my number 9 pick right there, Cube. And yes, I know I get an Ice Cube and stuff like that, but I'm
And
still a
rightfully
deep down
so.
fan of it. Yeah,
Rightfully so. No, he made some shit in the 2000s now. He made some crap. War and Peace was not a great album,
it wasn't.
but he was consistent in the beginning of his solo career. He did all of those albums were great.
Yes.
You know. All right, my number 9 is Big Pun, first
Ooh,
Latino rapper to go multi-platinum. And in my opinion, I think when you think of Latino MCs, Pun has to be at the top of the list. You know what I'm saying? And his flow, his delivery was crazy, and any beat that he got on, he killed. Whether he went first or second or last, he was killing shit. You know what I'm saying? His Capital Punishment is a 5 mic classic. It lived up to the hype. And this guy looked at No Way Out and said he wanted to do an album as epic like No Way Out. And I think it's better than No Way Out. You know what I'm saying? And for when he has features, he had a lot of features on Capital Punishment, but he killed every track, no matter who was on it, whether it was Wyclef or Prodigy or Deck or Buster. Nori was on that album. Black Thought. That was a great album. Like he stood toe to toe with the best of them, and it's a shame that his life was cut short, and he should still be here giving us classics. But for that one album, he did a lot for the Latino community in hip hop, and he really made history. Just not even going commercial, but just to have a Latino rapper go multi platinum. That's never been done before. Fat Joe came out many years ago before Pun, and he didn't even do that, and he surpassed Fat Joe with one album. So that
right.
says a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's no telling what he could have did with his third, fourth, fifth album. You know what I mean? And it was just great. You know what I'm saying? And he loved to have fun. I heard stories about he used to tell jokes, and he was a great father, and to see to see Chris Rivers you know um pick up in his dad's footsteps and rhyme, and he sound like Pun too on a lot of tracks, and it's dope. You know what I'm saying? But Pun definitely have to be on this list just for the accomplishment that he did as an artist, and for Latins and hip hop. I don't know if it'll ever be done again. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not too many Latino MCs that's going multi platinum right now. There's a lot of dope Latino MCs, but some of them are under the radar still. You know, not terminology. Immortal Technique. You know, Snow the Product. But yeah, that might never be done again. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to be the first one, that's people will always remember that, and you know, it was great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, rest in peace, Pun. In my opinion, my personal favorite Latino rapper ever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I said, I love there's a whole bunch beat nuts. People forget they Latino. They great. They've always been under the radar. You know, I believe terminology is Puerto Rican. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that.
Terminology dropping heat. He's been dropping heat for years. You know, Immortal Technique. There's a lot of them. There's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just
We,
they're not getting, huh?
I'm just saying we have to discuss technique before this year's
Yeah.
over.
You know, Emilio Rojas. He's been on the ground for forever. You know what I'm saying?
Kid
There's
Frost.
a lot of dope Latino MCs, and it's like we don't. There's not enough discussions about them. You know what I'm saying? It's like people know Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill is like they're legends. They're goats. You know what I'm saying? And you know Kid Frost, and you know it's they did. It's like they don't get the same type of attention on them, and that has to change. You know what I'm saying? We it's not just about blacks and hip hop. It's like Latinos are been doing it as well, and they got to get the same type of attention and respect. You know what I'm saying? So
I definitely agree with
yeah,
you on that. Yeah.
Nems is killing it right now for Brooklyn, man. That's he right up there for me. You just coming from Brooklyn, and he been killing everything he's been on.
Yes, yes, sir. But number eight, I gotta go with Coogee Rap. My opinion, one of the illest to ever come out. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I love a lot of Coogee Rap shit. You know what I'm saying? I definitely feel like he's definitely the king. Like he's more than just the king when it comes to like mafioso rap.
right,
But I like Coogee Rap because when people think hip hop like the new school, and when I mean the new school, I'm talking about like 86, 87, like
right,
Rakim, KRS One, and Kane. I kind of Fuji definitely fits in that mold too.
yeah,
Like he's probably like the fourth kind of like thing and stuff like that when it comes to like that Mount Rushmore and stuff like that too. Like
right,
LL was more of like that transitional period. Like when it comes to like 84, 85, that transitional period when they were just
right.
getting into like the Run DMC era and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm gonna say I'm gonna do a video about that. I'm gonna do a video about that one day. But
About King.
no LL.
Oh, okay,
I was thinking about doing like a top lyrical performances he's ever done and stuff like that too. You know what I'm
right,
saying? But when it comes to Coogee Rap, I kind of felt like he took that and he elevated it. You know what I'm saying? Like he definitely had more of like multi-syllable, and then the way he was just fast rapping and stuff like that too. In my
right,
personal opinion, like Road to the Riches, I like the album. It's a good album. I know people will want to call it a classic album, which I'm not mad. I feel like it's more essential than classic when it comes to the whole beginnings of mafioso rap. But
yeah,
Wanted, Dead or Alive, that album definitely did his thing on that one and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Rikers Island, Play It
yeah.
Again, Polo, Erase Racism. My personal favorite, Talk Like Sex. Like just
Gotcha.
the wordplay on that song alone, man, is just it just takes me aback sometimes. You know what I'm saying? That actually is my personal favorite Coogee rapper DJ Polo album. I love Live and Let Die.
Mhm.
I love that album, and that's a very close second. But I felt like versatility on subject matter, like Wanted, Dead or Alive, was probably his best album
Right,
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like when it comes to like the solo shit too, like it speaks for itself. I feel like he's been very consistent. Like 456, which crazy thing
Classic.
I just noticed about 456. He
Mm.
didn't like that. He never liked that album.
You never liked the album?
Nah,
Why not?
he felt like he rushed it because he felt like he was trying to the label wanted him to do a more commercial thing and stuff like that too. Which 456, yeah, Fast Life. You can say that's like pretty much.
It's a
I'm not gonna say
shame.
you said what?
It's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, I would say more radio friendly. I'm gonna
Yeah,
stay
but
there.
that was played on the radio. Both of those songs.
Exactly. Shit. And then I like that. I like songs like "Blowing Up in the World," Take him to War."
Taking a war.
I say this once and I say this again. B1, Grim, and Cool Rap should have had like a super group and stuff like that too. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? They should have had a damn super group.
Right.
But my personal favorite solo album is the Roots of Evil album.
That was great.
One of the greatest mafioso rap albums ever.
His the storytelling was epic.
Yes, like people
Yeah.
always want to say Slick Rick. They always want to say Biggie, which I love Biggie, Slick Rick, but I feel like again, Cool G Rap with the storytelling. I feel like Cool G Rap storytelling broke down the barriers for Biggie, Jay Z,
Yeah.
Noriega, all them niggas,
Yeah. That's why he's the
all them
Godfather.
fucking niggas.
Nobody was doing that before him.
Nigga, his shit sounded more like movies and shit like that too. You know what
It
I'm
was
saying? You know what I'm
raw.
saying?
It
Help.
was like looking at any mafioso flick on hearing it on wax. It was that raw. Like
Yes.
his songs got banned because of how raw it was. They banned Mr. Mister. Remember how graphic we got into that song? Like they banned that. You couldn't play. The radio wasn't playing that shit. They didn't put that
Yeah,
on no
man.
album. That song like you would be lucky if you find it on the 12 inch.
Yeah, man. Even Complex Magazine named that the most violent hip hop song ever, the darkest hip hop
Right.
song ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. G Rap, man. And he's still doing his fucking thing to this day, man. Like the
Right.
nigga is still doing his fucking thing. And I still fuck with G Rap. Like, he's my favorite member of the Juice Crew. I, I know people will say, okay, what about Kane? Kane had a few missteps for me. I'm just gonna be real. I like Kane, but he had a few
He did.
he had a few missteps for me, but that's
Yeah.
not taking anything away from his legacy.
Mm.
I just feel like
But see, unlike Cool G Rap, Kane let you know that he was going after radio play. He wasn't ashamed about it.
yes, yeah.
You know.
But that's my number 8.
All right. Number 8 for me is Rakim.
What?
Rakim is
Not even
8.
the top 5?
Rakim is 8. He didn't make the
Wow.
top 5 because I feel
Oh,
like, hey, he didn't make the top 5. He on the top 10. Be glad that you did.
all right.
You know what I'm saying? He
Oh,
didn't make the top
I'm
5,
sorry.
and even if he don't like this, I think you know what I hate about these lists when people do these lists, and if when it comes to the numbers, it's a numbers game, and people look at the placements and where these MCs are at. Oh, if you have Rakim number 10 or number 2, something is wrong with you. So it's like they kind of devalue these artists by the numbers. It don't matter if he's number 9 or number 1. He's on the list. That's all that
I
should matter.
know. I
You know what I'm
know. I
saying?
know.
They
I
put
know.
too much stock in where because that creates the whole debate of oh well why you got Rakim at number 8? He should be number 1. You know what I'm saying? It's like they kind of like it's like well if he's at number 8 you're devaluing his legacy by putting him at number 8. No,
Well,
you're not.
see, the difference between us and niggas like that will say shit like that, but they can't have the facts to back up their argument.
Right.
We do.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's the 8th best MC on this list. He could be number 1. He's number 1 to a lot of people, especially the older cats from the 80s or whatever. But he in the top 10. That's all that matters. He in
I
the top
respect
10.
that.
You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
was just joking
saying?
around with you, man.
Because if you ask me who's my top 5, everybody that's on my top 5 are the ones that I fuck with the most.
Right.
As far as like you know what I'm saying. If we talking about constantly listening to they stuff, or well used to listen to their stuff. A lot of them I don't listen to like that anymore for one reason or another. But you know what I'm saying, they had more of an impact when it came to album sales and stuff, and their rhymes and the classic songs that they left. You know what I'm saying? Rakim had a great run with DJ with Eric B, but he had one great album solo wise. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. 1800
yeah,
was great. That's his best solo album compared to the
I
Master,
agree.
the other, you know what I'm saying, the 17 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But what he did with Eric B was great. You know what I'm saying? Like before Rakim came into the game, there was no MC that had a cadence or that had a flow. Like when Rakim came in the game, he invented that shit. He invented, MCs having a flow and having a cadence and delivery and multiple syllable use and all that. We didn't have that before. You know what I'm saying? Before Rakim, it was like everybody sounded, they had that b-boy type of sound. And then Rakim came in and changed the whole game, and to the point where it's like that was your idol. You look at Nas, it's like, yo, I remember that Source magazine where they were like, yo, when Nas came out with Illmatic, he was like the son of Rakim, because we didn't hear nothing like that since Rakim. You know what I'm saying? Then Nas changed the game all over again. You know what I'm saying? So it
Yeah,
was like Rakim was like a generational talent. You know what I'm saying? Like when people, like, you look at the NBA, and we had Dr. J was a generational talent. Jordan, you know what I'm saying? LeBron comes in, changes the shit. You know what I mean? He was a generational talent for hip hop for us. You know what I'm saying? And he left us many great classics. Eric B for President and Microphone Fiend, The Ghetto, Casualties of War, Don't Sweat the Technique, Mahogany, many classics. Even the solo album. I love 18th Letter. You know what I'm saying? The saga begins. That the P Rock joint. Love that joint. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. The Primo drink classic. Like Rakim is the GOAT. Like if anybody put Rakim number one, that's great. It like, well, wherever he's at on the list, if he's on your list, that's what matters. He's on the top
right,
10, that's what matters. But you know what I'm saying? I don't like the number thing. People put too much stock in that. Like, oh, why you got him at number 8 and he's on the list. Think
right,
of how many other MCs that didn't make the list. You know what I'm saying? Just to be on the list, you should feel honored that you on the list. You made the list. That's how much of an impact he had on that person's life that they put him in their top 10. So he's the GOAT, definitely. He's my number 8.
yeah, man, yeah, man. I was just playing around with you and shit
No, I
like that.
know, but I'm saying like over the years when you see, especially like when if Complex Magazine, and they do this shit a lot where they drop a list and they want to get that reaction from the heads. And
Right,
they'll, oh, Rakim made so and so list, but he ain't number 1 or top 5. He on the list. He on the list. Think of how many other MCs that deserve to be on the list that didn't make the list. He on the list. The placement shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna matter to people that want to debate about it. Like I don't care to debate about Rakim being number 1 or number 8. Like he on the list.
yeah, man,
You know what I mean?
yeah, man. That's diva. That's a dope pick for Rakim, number
Yeah.
8. So I know a lot of people kind of surprised that I didn't put Jay-Z and Eminem in my top 10, but I'm gonna be real. My number 7 and 6 are gonna surprise a lot of people. My number 7, Mr. Action, aka Scarface.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Action Bronson. I'm like, now that's a surprise.
Oh hell, I love Bronson. I love him, but hell no, hell no. I gotta go with. Oh, what's up, Hip Hop Rap XP? What's up, man?
It was good.
I gotta go with Scarface as my number 7. Now, a lot of people will put him like in the 20, 30. You put the nigga way too fucking low. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry, man. I love Kumo D, but I don't think I would put Exhibit over Scarf. And I love Exhibit too, but I'm just like,
And I love Exhibit. He didn't make my list though. Not for this one. If it was top 100, he would have made it.
Yeah, 51 to 100. He would
Yeah,
probably
he
be
would have
into
made it for sure.
50, 60s, one of
For sure.
those and shit like
And
that.
he
But
had a solid discography. I mean, in my opinion, I think it's like his first three were great.
first
The
two
first
for
two
me.
you didn't like Restless?
To be honest, Restless was good, but I kind of feel like it's a bit overrated.
Wow, overrated. Wow,
Yeah,
I think that's his most successful though, right?
that's that's the thing. People come sometimes want to confuse numbers with the quality. I kind of put his first two over Restless, in my opinion.
Right.
Again, I know, and also the Dre co-signed too at that
Mhm.
time. And I have nothing against because the album was dope,
Right.
but I kind of feel like it's a bit overhyped. I'm gonna be real.
Okay.
I feel like At the Speed of Life and especially 40 Days and 40 Nights were his
Yeah.
magnum opuses.
Yeah, definitely. Those are great
Yeah.
albums.
We'll talk about Restless one day because I think I'm already going to piss off the West Coast already and shit. But hey, fuck it. I pissed off many people before, so
Absolutely.
Scarface. Let me get back to him. Scarface, man. I think he's probably like one of the first rappers I can really just say I genuinely respected. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I could put Willie D and Bushwick Bill are all when it comes to top 100. They're all on my list and stuff like
Right.
that. But Scarface, he always spoke more to me. First of all, he was like the Ghetto Boys itself were like the first hip hop act, and I said act that really brought mental awareness to hip hop.
Right.
Not bitch ass Kid Cudi and crazy ass Kanye. Fucking listen to
Mhm.
fucking We Can't Be Stopped Alone and shit. They were the first rappers to really question if they were really crazy. They're not trying to do this fucking shit. One minute they're down for the culture, next minute they saying some stupid shit like George Floyd didn't die from the cops and shit like that. But I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that because I said too much about Kanye right now and shit. But yeah, man, but Scarface, man, he was just so in my opinion, Scarface is the precursor to Tupac. I'm gonna be real, 100% real. He's the precursor to Tupac, Nas, all them fucking rappers and shit. Hell, I was even say Scarface really started mafioso rap to an extent because he was the first rapper to mention the Scarface as the movie and shit too.
Right.
Way before Rick Ross and Raekwon were popping crystals and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, and again, that's nothing against those MCs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I just have to give respect when respect's due and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And I personally feel like he has the best discography in hip hop. Mr. Scarface is back.
Yeah, I've
Well,
never heard a whack album from Scarface.
there you go. Like the world is yours. The motherfucking diary, my nigga.
Hmm.
The motherfucking diary.
Great album.
Oh my god. Like that album, to this day, that album deserves all the accolades it gets.
Right.
It got perfect rating on double XL and the sort. I mean, oh jeez, I can even go on. Like The Last of the Dying Breed, The Untouchable, an album I didn't really care for at first. Well, not care for like that, but I kind of felt like it was a bit too weird because I'm so used to like the hard beats like the with Scarface. That when he came up with all that smooth melodic kind of shit like Mary Jane, I was like, oh, but then over the years, I'm just like, now I can see why people fuck with this, like the Fix.
Right.
Hell, even the My Homie shit, the Face Mob, like Scarface was just one of those rawest MCs ever. Like he was definitely one of those guys that definitely showed the multi-dimensional side of street life and stuff like that too. And to me, he's the real king of the South, not T.I.
So
Just be
no,
real.
that's not Ti.
I love T.I., but well, let me just say, I like
T.
T.I.,
Yeah, Ti
but
had a ring, but he's not. He wasn't. He's not. He hasn't been consistent for every album.
keyword, he's the self-proclaimed king of the South. Keyword, self-proclaimed.
Well, do you consider those artists? I mean, Scarface wasn't dropping consistently even back then. But I mean, do you consider like Ti or Ludacris or Ross or Weezy the king of the South just because Face wasn't dropping frequently?
Honestly, if there was one motherfucker, here's the thing. If it was between 2001 to maybe 2006, Ludacris definitely held that title.
Okay.
But then 2006 to maybe 2012. That was Weezy's reign. And then you had maybe like 2011 to probably like 2016, 17. That was Ross's lane and shit.
Right.
To me, Ti again, he definitely had a lane. I would say from '03 to '08.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah, I was to '03, '08 and stuff like
Mhm.
that too. Because his first album was kind of whack to me. I'm not gonna hold you.
Right.
Like when it comes to trap music onwards, so maybe trap music, the Paper Trail,
Yeah.
that's his era.
That's his best albums to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of feel like Urban Legend is a bit overrated too.
Really? You think?
Yeah.
Why? Why you feel
Uh,
everything?
I don't know. I kind of felt like it was a bit too. When I first heard it, it was a bit too. It was a bit too radio friendly compared to trap music.
Right.
Because trap music to this day, I feel like that's my second, maybe my second or third. I don't know. I gotta be listening to Ti's discography, but I'm more for Ti versus Tip King
Yeah.
nigga and shit like that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but Scarface to this day, he's the blueprint for like a lot of these rappers and shit. He's the reason why motherfuckers say he's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
Right. I agree. Definitely. He. Like I said, I think I don't never heard a bad Scarface album. Even the stuff the recent stuff, the Deeply Rooted and Emeritus,
Ooh,
those are solid albums too. You know. I don't I thought we was gonna get that album he promised us with DJ Quick. We never got that album.
I never heard of that. What?
Yeah, that was supposed to be. They were supposed to do a collab album when he had. I think when he had dropped the Deeply Rooted album, they were talking about doing a Quick and Scarface album, and we never got it. And
Oh
supposedly
no.
it was done. So I don't know what happened with that. You know.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's cool.
like for one, he's been having some health issues. I
Yeah,
know his son donated a kidney to him not too long ago,
yeah,
and then he said he was trying to get into politics too. So
right.
yeah, man. But that would be kind of dope. Quick and
Yeah,
Face.
yep.
What would the album be called? Quick Face.
I don't know.
Face Quick. Or like,
They did shows together. I saw it on on YouTube. It was like around the time that Quick had did that album with Problem. He did the
mm,
Rosecrans album, and they went on they did shows together, like him, Quick and Scarface or whatever, and they kept saying that they were doing a collab album, but it never came out.
right.
So I don't know. But I think that would be a dope album, like Quick's G Funk production and Scarface lyrics. That would be that's what we need. We need like an album like that, definitely.
Yeah, because Face can rock them G Funk beats. Because the world
Yeah,
is yours kind of has some G Funkish to it. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
Let me roll.
Hmm.
Boom, boom, boom. That shit right there.
Yeah.
Come on.
The Untouchables album that had that he did that joint
Ooh,
with Dr. Dre on there.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you know.
Shit,
Yeah.
that's my number seven.
All right, number 7 for me is Big Daddy Kane, one of the best MCs from Brooklyn. Before Jay-Z, before Biggie, there was Kane, and Kane just had the swag and the haircut and the bravado lyrics, the punchlines. He again, like when he first came out, he was hungry, and he wasn't. I don't believe he was really thinking about radio until the second album, But that first out, Long Live Kane, I remember that Christmas in '88, getting that on cassette, for as a Christmas present, and that was my album for that year. That was like I was a huge Kane fan, and you had like the kids, rocking the high top fade like him, and the dookie rope chains and shit, and the Bally's back when we used to rock Bally's and shit, and they wanted to be like Kane, yo. It was like, it was almost like, what you gonna be for Halloween? I'm gonna be Big Daddy Kane. That's the type of drip that he had even back then, and he was a great lyricist, and first album was classic, second album was classic, and then he got into the bullshit. When he started focusing on dropping the radio friendly joints, I get the job done. That even listening to that album now, that song stands out like a motherfucker from that album. It doesn't sound like nothing else on It's a Big Daddy thing. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, this is I gotta hit radio with this joint. You know what I'm saying? And he continued that trend. And I feel like him chasing radio is why he fell off. You know what I'm saying? Like even with those latter albums, like Prince of Darkness to me was a dope album, but those singles he picked were the wrong singles to pick for that album. Not when you had joints like, the Come On Down joint with Q-Tip and Busta Rhymes, that should have been a single. And he had the brother joint with him and his brother Little Daddy Shane,
Right.
and Get Busy with Scuba Scrap. He could have released those joints, but he released shit like Groove with It and Loving You. I'm like, oh, what is this bullshit, Kane? What you doing? You know what I'm saying? And then it continued. Right? It looks like a job for you. He dropped that very special track, one of the worst songs, one of the worst King songs
I
ever.
might love it.
Yo, Spinderella is a DJ. She should never sing. Don't stay behind the turntables where
Well,
you was
Salt and
going to
Pepper
do
won't
your
pay
time.
her. Salt and
Huh?
Pepper won't pay her. She needed a check, so shit.
Yeah, but that song was that song was bad, and they were playing that like that was a hit single. I'm like, this shit is crap. The album was dope, but that again, the singles fucked up people's perception of like they didn't want to get the album because like once they hear that, they're like, what is this? He's singing with Spinderella? You know what I'm saying? And I think that ruined him. It's like he don't make albums no more. Like you see him doing features, but he don't make albums. He should have been. I feel like he like right now is like the best time for him to come back with like some new shit. Like reintroduce yourself to this younger generation of who you are, because they might have heard of him or might have heard like a song or something, but they don't know who Kane is. You know what I'm saying? And people forget like, yo, this dude, he's one of the best lyricists, man. Like again, his punchlines, and he if you don't want to battle Kane, Kane will destroy you in any battle. You know what I'm saying? To me, he had one of the best verses on the symphony. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? Like to me, it was him, and I love Master Ace verse. You know what I mean? Cool G Rap did his thing, but it's like, yo, Kane joint. That was, you know what I'm saying? That was the joint for me on Symphony, and this, you know what I'm saying? Like again, it was great to see him get a versus against Karis One, and that was a legendary battle and great MC. I just feel like his discography it fell off because he was chasing radio with a lot of those albums, and if he had just stuck to like the underground joints, he would have had a flawless discography. But like for what he did, like and then like the latter album, Daddy's Home, and bringing Jay, who would eventually take over for Brooklyn, like on Show and Prove. That was dope. That was dope. I always wondered why Jay never signed Kane to Rockefeller.
you said y'all's one why?
I always wondered why Jay never signed Kane to Rockefeller.
I'm kind of glad that didn't happen, honestly.
I mean, because I think he would have that would have been the perfect label for him at that time. Like you come back out, you reintroduce yourself, and you come back out with another Brooklyn MC that looked up to you and that idolized you. I definitely feel like if we had Kane, Big L, Jay on one label, that would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like they were already an ill label, but if you had Big L on that label, if he was still alive, and Kane, and then you bring in Cam and Dipset, they would have been unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? But I think I would have like I always went. I'm like, yo, Jay had all this love for Kane. Why he never signed Kane? He never signed Jazz O.
I mean, well, I know why, because Jazzo, he just didn't fuck with Dame Dash, so that's why he didn't
Right.
go with them and shit.
But
But I
but
kind of
Kane.
felt like,
Mhm.
oh, go ahead.
Now I was saying like, but Kane, you looked up to Kane. Kane was like everybody's idol coming from Brooklyn, and you know what I'm saying. Kane put you on his album. Why he never? You know what I mean? I never heard Kane on a Jay-Z album before. You feel me?
Because you also gotta remember, Kane, he was mostly just focused on like live performing at some point and stuff like that too. Because it's like, I think he said in an interview, I remember watching it. I don't know if it was from his unsung, but he pretty much said that he pretty much just felt like the hip hop game was just changing fast and stuff like that. And then he said if he would have came out when Biggie was coming out and stuff like that, like the 94, 95 period, he probably could have had a longer career and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
But if he was on Rockefeller, he would have been still out. Like, yo, you was doing shitty albums, and then you chose to go off and do Madonna Sex Book. You chose to go off and act and do shit like Posse. Like, come on.
Yeah, Posse was trash.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you was
Fucking
doing some
ghetto
shitty mood
cowboy,
roles, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm
fucking
like you could have
crucial
been on
conflicts,
Rockefeller.
biopic ass.
Yeah, you could have been reintroducing his. That would have been like his second rebirth. You know what I'm saying? With Rockefeller, with Rockefeller, and you come out with Jay and y'all. They could have did some epic. He could have been a lot of those epic joints. Like, imagine if he was on that freeway joint, that What We Do joint. You know, you have like Kane and Beans and Freeway and Jay. That would have been crazy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I'm like, Kane put Jay on the album. Jay ain't never had the courtesy to be like, yo, jump on this track with me, Kane. Nah, he want to get Ja Rule on the fucking track. You want to get fucking No Talent a Mill on the track. I
it's
don't, I don't
crazy.
get it.
It's just a lot of behind the scenes shit, you know?
Right.
Mm. All right, where we got? Number six.
Yeah.
Number six, I gotta go with Chuck D of Public Enemy. Yeah, man. Chuck D, Mr. Chuck, greatest voice in hip hop history, in my opinion, and stuff like that. The most recognizable voice when it comes to that. Well, one of the one of the most
Yeah.
recognizable.
For sure.
Like Mr. Chuck is just one of those. He pretty much Public Enemy definitely was one of the guys that created political hip hop and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, they did conscious hip hop, like because of message, of course, but Public Enemy did political hip hop.
Right.
Like just them, just talking about fucking government, black on black crime, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like to me they're the greatest group in hip hop history and shit too, Like him, Flavor Flav chemistry alone was just like oil and water
Right.
and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real, Chuck D may not be the most lyrical, like when in comparison to Rakim, um, Kane, G Rap, so on and so on. But he's one of those few MCs. Whenever he spits a verse, you have to listen.
Right.
You have to fucking listen. Black Steel in an Hour of Chaos, man. I mean, one of the greatest storytelling songs of hip hop is this. The I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it. It said it was stuck. And like another interesting thing I studied about Chuck D. Some of his bars don't even rhyme, but he played it out smooth.
Yeah.
Like Fight the Power. He said, "Don't worry, be happy" was the number one jam. Damn it, he slapped me right here and stuff like that too. You
Right.
can tell he hated that song too. So, but
Right.
yeah, man, it's just like he's not one of those few MCs. They don't rhyme and shit. They want to get off or some stupid ass bullshit. Like I said,
Right.
he's just one of those guys that always spoke the truest shit ever. To me, by the time I get to Arizona, which is actually my favorite
Yes.
Public Enemy song of all time,
I love that song.
was it the perfect? Yeah, it was a perfect example for MC just really taking something that's very socially conscious and pressure to our legacy, but at the same
Right.
time mixing it with the contemporary anger at the time, especially with how they were trying to do Martin Luther King Day at that time too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Facts.
yeah, Sam, Welcome to the Terror Dome, which I kind of felt like is probably his best performance and stuff like
Yep.
that too. You know what I'm saying? Just like everything about Public Enemy alone was just revolutionary, sonically powerful, in my personal opinion, and stuff like that too. Like I said before, Chuck D, one of the main reasons why Public Enemy stood on his own. And I can't end this off without talking about his solo album, The Adventures of Mr. Chuck, which
Right.
I definitely feel like it's an underrated classic. I don't give a fuck what no one says. Like, I don't give a fuck what no one says. Because niggas be like, oh, well, pretty much he already kind of dropped a solo album. Well, nah, nigga, nah, nigga. If he wants to drop a solo, I just felt like it was released at the wrong time. Like,
Right.
96, that was the East Coast, West Coast shit. And niggas weren't paying attention to Chuck D. They're trying to figure out which rapper was going to die next and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
and it's kind
Facts.
of sad, though. It's fucking sad. You
Facts.
know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because it was a very good album. I feel like I feel like if it would probably came out maybe 95, you probably could still had a little faction, you know. But I even like the He Got Game soundtrack.
That was dope. That's
Yeah,
probably like they. No, I don't want to say that because I did enjoy Public Enemy's recent album that came. What was that last
yeah,
year? Before last?
that shit was fire, man.
Yeah, that was dope. But they 2000s albums were like hit and miss for me.
I agree. Yeah,
You know,
the one with Paris was good. I like the one with Paris.
that was dope. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
dope. I forgot about that one.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I know people gonna be like, well, what about Tupac? He was political too. Yeah, but where do you think Pac got it from?
Right.
And shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like even though Chuck D wasn't lyrical, like he didn't have the delivery, but his voice was legendary.
Right,
And you hear the voice before the beat drop, and his voice just go with that chaotic production from the Bomb Squad. It
right.
was like he had like that urgency in his voice. So you know what I'm saying. I think he's like the exception to that. You know.
Definitely know what you mean, bro.
Yeah. All right. I got where we at number six.
Yeah.
Number six, I got LL Cool J.
Ooh. Okay.
LL, the late ladies love Cool James, and his like he was the ladies man, but he could still battle anybody with his lyrics, and his flow was just dope. And you know, LL is not just known for like I need love and hey lover. Like he had battle joints. To the break of dawn is one of my favorite. This songs that don't get a lot of mention. You know what I'm saying? When he's going at Ice T, you know what I'm saying? That shit, like just the lines he was saying in that shit, and you going at Hammer and shit, it was crazy. He's like, yo, like that was like the one song I remember from the House Party soundtrack, and be like, yo, why is this song on the House Party soundtrack? This should be on his own, and it would end up being on Mama Said Knock You Out. But I'm like, it shouldn't have been on House Party soundtrack, but that was like one of my favorite LL diss songs.
I
You know,
agree.
I Shot You, another great song. 4321. That everybody killed that joint. Even Master P was on that. He had like he tried to do some bitch shit. I didn't like what he did with cannabis. I felt like you LL Cool J, you are the GOAT, right? You are the GOAT. You nobody was using that term before LL. You noticed that, right?
Yeah.
Before LL, nobody was saying that in rap that they the GOAT. It was LL that started that shit. This whole GOAT talk. Even now, like when I see it in everything, ESPN talk about who's the GOAT in NBA. They use that. LL started that shit. The greatest of all time. If you're the GOAT, why should you feel some type of way about a new kid on the block like Cannabis making Cannabis change his verse because he thought he was taking shots at you subliminally? When I feel like he was praising him for the mic tattoo on his arm or whatever. I thought that was some bitch shit. And he got his ass handed to him in the process. To me, I feel like Cannabis beat him with a second round knockout. Everything you said on that song, 99% of your fans wear high heels. That's facts. Because I know women. I have female cousins in my family that love LL. They wasn't buying the albums, but they know his songs. Doing it. And again, Hey Lover, that's like a favorite, and Jingling Baby, and you know what I'm saying. Lounging remix with Total. Women love that. They wasn't buying his albums, but they loved the hit songs from him, and He was great. He was able to balance being a sex symbol in rap and being a mainstream artist, and then still having that respect from the homies and your peers and he could have been like Hammer. He could have sold out and he could have been like out of here like Hammer. But he had to have that balance where if you drop an album like Mr. Smith, you have Hey Lover and doing it for the chicks, and then you got joints like Ashacha and No Airplay, one of my favorites, underrated LL track. He always had that balance, and that's how you have to do it. Because if you got the lady fan base, you got to appease to the women in the radio, and then you got to appease to the niggas too. And he did a great job balancing that. And it's hard. That's why a lot of artists don't do that. Drake don't hasn't grasped that yet. He's more for the women than the niggas. You know what I'm saying? But LL is like one of those like MCs like you didn't want to battle him. You know what I'm saying? And he had the persona, and he just and even now it's like he's one of the very few artists from the 80s that can drop an album and he's still gonna be relevant. He's still relevant now, even though he's doing TV shit. I'm saying we waiting for that LL album with Q-Tip. I hope it's good. Because I have not enjoyed anything from him since the GOAT, and that was 20 years ago. So I'm hoping that this Q-Tip album is good. But again, and he's a great performer. If you've seen him live, he's a great performer. You know what I'm saying? He's still killing it at live shows and shit. So definitely have to be my top 10.
Got you. Okay. My number 4 is Biggie. Notorious
Okay.
B.I.G. Biggie
Number
Small.
5, you mean? Number 5?
Yeah, number 5. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Number 5 is Biggie. Definitely, Biggie was one of the most illest, dopest rhymers to have ever came across the microphone. In my personal opinion, I definitely feel like he's definitely the MC in my personal opinion, where it's like he definitely has like a recognizable flow,
Right.
but he's able to touch on topics based off the high quality of his lyricism,
Right.
stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, I definitely feel like one of my favorite Biggie verses comes from like the Super Cat Dolly My Baby remix and stuff like that,
Yes.
which definitely he only came for like a couple of seconds. Like, I love it when you call me Big Pop. The show stop. The rhyme drop. Just
Right.
the way like he was timing those rhymes and just the wordplay, how he was definitely doing it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Was very, very, very unique and shit. I mean, Ready to Die. Ready to Die alone was such a fucking masterpiece in my personal opinion. A fucking classic album.
Yeah.
Um, lyrically, one of my favorite tracks I definitely got to say was Machine Gun Funk. A track
Oh
I don't
yeah.
really hear like a lot of people talk about. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Very, very, very dope track. I love the What with Method Man 2 was very dope.
Fire.
It's,
Who had the best verse on that?
mm,
Because I
oh,
think I don't know. Out there, I gotta go with Method Man by inch. So I think Method Man on any feature that time, he was like the go to. Like if you
yeah,
had Method Man on your album in 94, 95, it was like, yo, that's who you needed.
yeah. Honestly, when it came to like the out of the first two verses,
Mhm.
Method Man had the best verse. But out
Right.
of the second two, when they went at it again, I feel like
Mhm.
Biggie came back
Biggie,
strong.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, man. And even Life After Death alone, like I always felt like his pen game was stronger on Life After Death. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
hold y'all. I'm
Because
not
he
gonna.
had he had more tracks to be on.
Yeah, and it
He
was
had
just
more
like
tracks.
where he was at in life and shit too. You gotta
Yeah,
remember,
right.
like one of the tracks that I definitely feel was very dope lyrically, and a lot of people might say it's a surprise. Going
Uh-huh.
back to Cali,
Yes. Love that.
like the way how Easy Mo beat. First of all, the beat by Easy Mo beat is
Hmm.
very. probably one of my top five beats because him definitely going for that G funk kind of sound and stuff like that. Which I know like a lot of West Coast cats don't really fuck with that song and
Right.
shit like that too. But that's another story for a different day. But like just the way how Biggie was rhyming on that shit too was just
Yeah.
like this nigga just like has so many different kinds of flows
Mm-hmm.
alone, which is very unbelievable and shit too. Um, Also, one more song I want to talk about, like Notorious Thugs, like Bone Thugs and Harmony and
Yes.
shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
one of my top three Biggie verses of all time and
Definitely.
stuff. And I think it was either Busy or Crazy that said that Biggie was in the room alone, just trying to concentrate and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
On that verse and stuff. Now let me ask you this:
Oh.
the, who had the best verse, Biggie on Notorious Thugs or Pac on Thug Love?
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I love Biggie's flow because Biggie. It's like he sounded like one of them. He sounded like the seventh sixth member of Bone Thugs.
Big Bone.
The way that it like it if like you know what I'm saying. It's almost like he accommodated his song for Bone Thugs. It's just like like if you having house guests and it's like you're being a good host by having them come over and you know what I'm saying. You're being a good host. I feel like he was being a good host by using that fast flow that Bone Thugs have and blending his style with them, and I think it was perfect. With Pac sounded like Pac on Thug Love, and that's a great I love that track also with the gunshots on the track and everything. But I feel like Biggie accommodated Bone and just switching his style up just to because they were featured on it. I think that's what people remember because we never heard him use that style before. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, he sound like one of Bone Thugs on here. You know what I'm saying? And Stevie J did that. That same Stevie J that was on all these reality shows for VH1. He did that beat, and that's one of his best beats ever to me.
Right.
You know,
That's my number five right
yeah.
there.
I number five for me is Eminem, and I feel like in recent years Eminem could have dropped out of the top 10 with the crap he's been releasing, but just for him being a Caucasian rapper and a dope Caucasian rapper at that, and actually you know had making some classic albums. You know what I'm saying? His first three on Aftermath to me are great. Those are his best albums. Anything after that is hit or miss for me. But when I remember hearing my name is on Stretching My Beetle, and this is before the video came out. The album didn't even drop, and they first time they playing it, and I'm hearing it. I'm thinking, dude is black. And when I see the video, he's white. I'm like, oh shit! I didn't, what I'm saying? This is the song I've been hearing for all these weeks, and I didn't even know. I didn't because I never heard of Eminem before. My name is, and then finding out later that he was, in the Rap Olympics competition, he battled Cannabis and other MCs, and he had an independent album out, Infinite that went under the radar, when he was first started becoming an artist, and he was part of the Outsiders, and you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and finding out that that Dr. Dre signed this dude, I'm like, yo, he gotta be great then. You know what I'm saying? And then buying Slim Shady LP and hearing that album, and that album was phenomenal. Just the shit that he was saying, and it was like he gave no fucks at all. Like it was like we had people try to censor rap in the past, and they failed, and it was like Eminem was like, yo, I'm blowing the doors off for this shit. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want, and y'all gonna love it. And I got Dr. Dre, one of the best producers all time, doing my production. It was great. It was great. You know what I'm saying? And then he hit us with Marshall Mathers LP, best rap album of 2000, arguably. You know, that was great. And then he hit us with Eminem Show, another great album. And then he produced most of that album himself. And I feel like yo, for those three albums, he had already solidified itself. You know what I'm saying? So like if he had said, "Oh, I'm gonna retire after Eminem show," I still would have put him in my top 10. You know what I'm saying? And this whole you know movement that's been going on in the last couple years, where black people feel like, oh well, I wasn't bumping him because I can't relate to him, or he wasn't being bumped in the, and you can't bump in the whip, or you can't bump him in the club. A lot of MCs wasn't being bumped in the club, and I feel like that's just an excuse for black people to be like, oh well, I'm not gonna fuck with him because he's white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But at the same time, they might not fuck with him, but they might like some shit from Taylor Swift, and she's white. Last time I checked. You know what I'm saying? Or you might fuck with Drake, and Drake is half white. Last time I checked. So I just think that was an excuse. You know what I'm saying? And I know people personally that was black and was bumping Eminem, that was buying Eminem albums. So if they come out now and they say 20 years later, "Oh, I don't fuck with them," I'll tell them that they full of shit, because I was there with you in that store buying Eminem albums. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So um, it wouldn't matter if he was white or purple. This dude is talented. You know what I'm saying? He's to MC and to produce. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude got Grammys, he got Oscars. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Eminem to me is the total package. Like, he's done he's done it all with everybody. I don't know if I know he said in the past that he was supposed to sign the Duck Down or whatever, but I don't think he would have blew up even on Duck Down. I think being on Interscope with Jimmy, having that promotional push from Jimmy Iovine and Dre is why he's one of the best. Like, he would still be a dope lyricist even on Duck Down, but he wouldn't have been huge on Duck Down, in my opinion, because they didn't they're an independent label, and they didn't have like the that type of same promotional machine like a Interscope. So he would have been just a dope MC with Sean Price and with Rock This Monster and Buckshot, but he wouldn't have been where he's at now. And I think he just got signed to the right label, and everything just fell into place, and he's great. His shit now is a totally different story. If he had came out now, and I remember telling you this before, if he had came out now with the shit that he been dropping, like Murdered by Numbers and Kamikaze, he wouldn't even make this list. Because the shit that, like, how he used to rhyme, and his music that he made back in the early 2000s compared to now is like a totally different artist I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like now it's like everything that he hated about mainstream, he's actually doing now. Maybe 20 years later, like trying to fit into what the younger artists are doing. I'm like, yo, you already a goat. You already a legend. Make them fucking listen to your shit from back in the day. Don't try to appease to the mainstream and whatever is trendy now just to stay relevant. I think what he's doing is wrong, but I'm not fucking with his shit now. But his three classics in the past, great albums, and he's on my list.
Yeah, man. Honestly, that's one of the main reasons why Eminem is not in my top 10.
Mhm.
Nothing against M. I fuck with M. But I felt like, well, both M and J, because I felt like when it comes to me, your discography, I'm all for consistency when it comes to quality of work.
Right.
And that's why some of the MCs in my top 10, they have experienced some consistency. I put Kane for number 10 because honestly, the first two solo albums, excuse me, the first two albums from him where his most consistent works. After it's a Big Daddy thing, it gets a bit hit or miss, but it's a
Right.
bit more hits than misses,
Hmm.
if that makes sense and shit like that too. Whereas with J and M, I felt like, with Jay, his best period was like 96 to 2001.
Right.
And I felt like after Blueprint, it was very hit or miss.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
I'm not going to go down the list because just catch that on the CD recap I'm going to do and stuff like that. 'Cause I'm going to try to record one before I go to bed tonight.
uh,
Eminem, oh my God, shit. Like from 99 to maybe '02, I'm gonna count 8 Mile soundtrack too,
Right.
honestly.
Uh,
But Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, and Eminem Show. Again, that's like not counting the soundtrack, but that's like three dope albums compared to how many albums Eminem dropped and shit. Count.
like,
I'm also gonna count Infinite too, because Infinite was cool.
uh,
I'm not gonna be too. I try not to be too hard on Infinite, but
right.
it's like how can I put this? It's like he was doing his best Nas impersonation, his best 80s impersonation on the album.
Right. Mhm.
So that's why I didn't put them in my top 10. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah. But that's a dope pick for Eminem. It's a dope placement for Eminem. Shoot.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to be at number 4. So the man, the legend, the Tupac Shakur, or as white people like to say, Tupac Shakur.
Tupac.
I don't understand why they pronounce his name like that. It is always the white people that never listen. It's like Tupac.
Tupac.
But yeah, Tupac, man. In my opinion, the best artist in hip hop history. Like if I were to do a list of my top 100 artists, he will most likely be the highest ranking hip hop artist.
Right.
Tupac was one of those MC that evokes emotion in whatever work that he put on wax. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This nigga can pretty much talk about and feel sympathy for fucking Brent, and Brent has got a baby. He can go the next day and like talk about the lack of fatherhood in Papa's song, a very underrated Tupac song, by the way.
Yeah.
He can definitely be that player can do with the Temptations and stuff like that too. Which again, Easy Mo B, one of my favorite beats from him and stuff like that. That Mo B man, drop that. I love the way he started off too and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and then Pac definitely was like the best all around guy in hip hop history and shit too. Starting off with like Digital Underground as a roadie, and you saw his evolution and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? You know, Me Against the World, my favorite album from Pac. I love that fucking album and stuff like that
Classic.
too. You know,
Yeah.
I love the song of "Can You Get Away." That's probably possibly my favorite song off the album. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? I just like I said, just love. Like again, Pac wasn't the most lyrical, but at the same time, his lyricism got better. Like when it came, especially when it came to the Don Illuminati 7 Day
Yeah.
Fury,
Yes.
I feel like that might be his most lyrical album and
Mm.
stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
He was angry in that album.
Yeah, very. I actually like that better than All Eyes on Me.
Really?
Yeah,
Machiavelli? Okay.
that's his best distro album, Machiavelli.
Wow.
Yeah, like All Eyes on Me. Don't get me wrong, All Eyes on Me was good, but it had a little bit of songs I didn't care for. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit for y'all and stuff like that too. Like I'm not gonna
Right.
sugarcoat. I feel like Machiavelli was just that's the album he always wanted to make on Death Row Records and stuff like that too.
Um,
You know what I'm
Sam said
saying?
he's
Like,
not a fan of that album. Wow.
Jesus,
Really?
Sam, he just don't like Pac like that. I'm sorry, he just don't like Pac like that. But
Really?
also the Thug Life album.
Mhm.
No one ever talks about Thug Life and shit too. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I felt like fucking Cradle to the Grave was my fucking shit. Under
Yeah.
Pressure, you know, him and Stretch alone are my favorite duo. Like out of all the producers Pac worked with, that's my favorite producer he
That's your
ever worked
favorite
with.
one?
Stretch. Like Johnny J was good.
Uh-huh.
Easy Mo B was excellent. Hell, I'll even give love to the late great Shock G.
Right.
But Stretch, I don't know what it was, but Stretch always gave Pac that fire. You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? And I definitely feel like the thing about Pac that definitely made his music work was the fact that he wasn't afraid to just go off on motherfuckers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Even in his young years, he was not afraid. He was always very rebellious. He was always very militant. That's one of the main reasons why I was very influenced by Pac and
Right.
stuff like that too. And I hate the fact that both Pac and Biggie's legacy is like the whole Tupac Biggie did Tupac Biggie did that. And I kind of feel like they both were in different lanes and they both excel in their own lanes and shit too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's my number four pick, Tupac Shakur. Like
Number
I don't
four.
dislike. I just want to say right now, I don't dislike Tupac. I just hate how everyone on this channel talked about Pac after, you know. But
It's so boring. Like even I don't even want to do. I don't even want to talk about these artists. Like it's just so because I've done this from high school talking about these artists. So it's like when people ask us now, I'm like I don't want to talk about these artists no more.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Like
and I've been doing
I've been doing this since high school. I'm like I know their legacy. They're great, but to get me to I have to at this point you got to pay me to talk about a Tupac album. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like I really don't care to talk about the same Tupac albums. We've been there and done that already. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or Jay and Nas, I'm like been there, done that. You know what gets me excited is talking about artists that don't get mentioned, that don't get that recognition. That's what I get excited for. You know what I'm saying? When we do these shows, the same old artists is like, do you all listen to anything else other than Busta Rhymes and Jay Z? You know what I mean?
right.
So that's my whole thing on it. But yeah, they're great. I don't care to talk about them.
I
You
don't
know,
blame you and shit. Like I said, I've already talked about all the Pac's albums and stuff.
right?
This
It's like what
Cadillac
more
album.
can we talk about? The shitty posthumous albums. There's nothing to talk about with them.
Yeah, Are You Still Down was it. That was
Right.
it.
Exactly. There's nothing else to talk about with him. He let him rest in peace. Same with Big. You know what I'm saying? He only had two albums. It's not like he had a ton of unreleased shit. You know. Number four for me is Jay. Jay Z's a legend, a billionaire, the goat. He definitely held Brooklyn down after Big got murdered, and I wasn't even a huge Jay Z fan when he first came out. Like I knew of him. You know, Dead Presidents was dope, and they were playing that on the radio and in my lifetime, and I can't get with that, and those were dope. But I didn't become a Jay Z fan really until like maybe Ain't No Nigga, maybe when that dropped, and that was him and Foxy. That was like a great collab, classic joint. And then and then I totally skipped over Reasonable Doubt. I didn't buy anything from Jay till Volume Two. That was '98. You know what I'm saying? So I skipped over Reasonable Doubt in Volume One. I mean, when Hard Knock Life anthem dropped, I'm like, yeah, this is the joint I'm talking about right here. I think that's the joint that made him a household name. Just using that Annie sample and that shit just blew up everywhere. I got tired of hearing it because it was like everywhere. 100 times a day they were playing that. You know what I'm saying? That album made Reasonable Doubt put him on the map, but Volume Two made him a household name, and he just took off from there. And he's never stopped. Since '98, and he's the goat, man. He's been on classic features. You know what I'm saying? Married one of the hottest chicks in the game, Beyonce. And we know his legacy. I don't want to get into a whole thing with Jay. Jay's my number four.
Yeah, man. Sam said Volume Two is a classic
Yes,
album.
definitely.
Yeah,
That's my favorite Jay album. I love that over any other Blueprint.
really.
Those other albums. My Volume Two will always be my favorite.
It's kind of crazy because I had a complicated relationship with Volume Two. I'm not gonna hold you.
Uh,
I liked and I felt like when I first heard it, I felt like I didn't like it at first because for
right,
one, when I came to Jay-Z, I listened to Reasonable Doubt first. And then I heard Volume One. That's not the first J album. The first J album I actually heard on the full was American Gangster. Let me stop you right there.
right.
But then I went back to his discography. I was Reasonable Doubt. I loved it instantly.
Mhm.
Volume One, I loved it too. I don't get the hate for that fucking album. But then
I don't
I heard,
understand that. We got to do a review on that.
oh yeah, that the anniversary, we're gonna do that.
Yeah. Now, see, I'm excited to do that because that's the album that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
They talk about the Blueprint all day.
Oh
They'll talk
shit.
about 444, Reasonable Doubt, but they don't talk about Volume One. That's like the stepchild of his discography.
Yeah. Just letting you know right now. That's the week of my homecoming, and that's my birthday week.
Okay.
So the wait, I might either do that a couple days before or a couple days after, but I'm gonna let you know and shit.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, But yeah, volume two and stuff like that, I was just like, when I first heard it, I felt it was a bit too many collabs, and
Yeah,
I felt like, I don't know, man. I just felt like he was just doing the whole Rough Riders kind of sound, like the
right,
whole Swiss Beats influence, Damon Breeze kind of shit. Which I was a young hip hop. I was young, just getting into hip hop and stuff like that too. So I didn't really know the
right.
history behind certain albums and stuff like that too. But then
Oh,
when I got older, I re-listened to it over the years, and I pretty much had a slow appreciation for coming up and stuff like that.
right.
Like I definitely respect the fact that it's the album that pretty much got him, like mainstream wise, because
Yeah.
Reasonable Doubt and Volume One were more like regional kind of hits and stuff like
Hmm.
that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially Reasonable Doubt, because that was his lowest charting album
Right.
and stuff like that too. You know, but Volume Two, I just loved Nigga What Nigga Who, which that's actually my
Yeah.
favorite. Not only my favorite song on the album, but Jazzo's best performance in any song. I
Yes.
heard, yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. His best, he killed that shit. I'm not gonna hold you.
Definitely. Definitely.
Fucking what was a one joint with it's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Memphis Bleak sounded great on that.
Yeah, yeah.
He sounded great.
Money Cash Holes, Reservoir Dogs. I mean,
Yeah.
now I understand that. To me, I call it a classic album. I'm not gonna hold you, but I say it's more of an arguable classic because people will say it's a classic. Some people will say it's not a classic. Like it's not universal, like Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, or even Blackout.
Right.
If that
Right.
makes sense.
Right.
But yeah, man. That Volume One review is gonna come next week. Just letting you all know right now.
That's
Yeah,
an album that should be on top with the other ones. I don't understand like why other people don't like it or they slept on it, and I'm like that shit is solid.
right. I definitely agree with you on that. All right, number three, we gotta go with Nasty Nas. You know, the star of this review, honestly. Yes, Nas. Nas, man, he's definitely one of the most premier MCs ever. He is definitely the MC like you have to really pay attention to really get like how he puts his words together and stuff like that. To
Yeah.
Nas definitely went through like a lot of phases in his career. Like I would say like the from everything from '92 to '94, the Nasty Nas, aka second coming of Rakim era, and possibly not even gonna hold you my favorite era of Rakim and stuff like I mean not Rakim, but Nas
Mhm.
and stuff like that too, because it was just like how he was rhyming and stuff like that too, and just the talent, just his fucking talent in him. And then you had like '96 to I want to say '99, maybe 2000, the Nas Escobar era and shit like that too, which again brought us many quality gems. A lot of people want to say he got more flashier during this era. I don't know, with songs like fucking
Right.
Take It in Blood, I Gave You Power, Favor for a Favor. He was dropping some of the most philosophical songs of that period and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Just like with Volume Two, like it was written a masterful work right there. Excuse me, my voice going out and shit like that. I don't know shit. But yeah, it was written. It was definitely his masterful work. I love that just as much as Illmatic and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But one of my favorite songs when it was written, it's not on the fucking OG version. I mean,
Right.
the American version is Silent Murder, which
Yeah.
I got the European version of it was written and
Mhm.
stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Just for that motherfucking song alone.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. And then you have 2001. I would say probably 2001 to present.
Right.
Probably like the Nas we love today. The contemporary Nas
Yeah.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? From Stillmatic to God's Son. You watch Nas fully become a man and
Yeah.
stuff like that too.
Definitely.
Like one minute you listen to Nas, he's just talking about the niggas in this corner, and then now you listen to Nas, he's talking about recovering from a fucking divorce, from the
Right.
police. and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
that's the key definition when it comes to evolution.
Right.
Like, see, you know what I'm saying? And like I said before, when we did this whole Nas week and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? The Untitled album, I definitely love the fact that you went very political with that,
Right.
and the fact that you never hear like you hear glimpse of political Nas as
Mhm.
early as maybe Stillmatic,
Right.
but it was. I feel like to this day, it's probably his most underrated album to this
I
day
think so. I think so.
because y'all got so caught up with, oh, he's called it nigga. Oh my
Right.
gosh. But have you guys hear the shit he was saying on this fucking album?
Right.
Like, give me a fucking break. But, at that time, Def Jam, that was the Rihanna era and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying?
Oh
So,
Lord. Yep. All right.
it's to this,
Yes,
that's my
sir.
number three.
Number three for me is Biggie. It's all good, baby, baby. Yes, love this man. And I I slept on Party and Bullshit when that came out. Like that was like they played it, but that wasn't a big hit. Like New York radio wasn't like like bumping it all the time. But when he dropped that Juicy joint, oh my god! When he dropped Juicy, that was everywhere. That's really the joint that set it off for Big. And you know, there's so many quotables in there. The video is iconic, and he just him putting like his mom is in the video and his daughter and signing with Bad Boy, and I'm like, yo, like we didn't know what to expect. I'm like, I knew I liked the song. It was catchy, he used the M2 made joint. And then I remember hearing like the Pete Rock remix I heard at the same time. So I'm like, yo, I love this remix too. And we found out that it wasn't that was the original beat that Pete Rock had or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that should have been on Ready to Die. I don't know why. That should have been a bonus track on there. But when that dropped and then right after he dropped Big Papa, and then they were playing joints on the radio from the album before it dropped, like Warning, they played that. I heard that. They played the Represent joint with Diana King and Unbelievable. I'm like, yo, this is going to be a fire album, and it lived up to the hype. And that to me set off Bad Boy. Like Craig Mack was already like he already had his hit with Flavor in Your Ear. But when Biggie dropped, Biggie really set it off for Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? And Puff owe everything to that man. You know what I'm saying? And we lost. He lost his best artist on that label, and we lost one of the best all time. Brooklyn lost one of the best all time, and he left us with two classic albums, man. And a lot of MCs can't say that. The MCs living and breathing, they can't even give us one classic. Big died, and he left us two
Fabulous.
classics. You know what I'm saying? And I remember like hearing, the thing with Life After Death, and what always I will always remember, because not like it dropped right after he got killed, and then it dropped on my birthday, and then it was like hearing that album was just so dark, and it was depressing to hear him like one last time on that album, and how he killed a lot of those tracks kicking the door. And I got a story to tell, one of the best storytelling tracks ever, about Anthony Mason's chick or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And you know, go like you said, going back to Cali and Notorious Thugs, he just left us with a great album. It's a shame like that was like his swan song, you know what I'm saying? But it always left like a real dark feeling for me because of everything that happened, and how it happened, and then the album comes out, and it's like, yo, like this shit was phenomenal. There's no telling what joints Biggie could have came out with on that album. You know what I'm saying? Like what he would have made, like, videos for and all that. And it's always gonna be like, I'm always gonna remember that. And then just being there, being in Bed-Stuy, and seeing the procession with the cars and everything. And that's just like, that might be the saddest moment for me in hip hop. Just that's not the way he should have been. He should have went out. You know what I'm saying? And he left us a great double album, five of my classic top three double albums ever for me. and he was great, man. Like, and he's still relevant. Like, you still got younger generations coming up and knowing who he is and his what he did for rap and for Brooklyn, and he has there's so many like murals of him now in Brooklyn that we didn't see 10 years ago, and he's great, man. Like, if he was alive and he wanted to run for mayor, he probably could have won. I really believe. I feel like Biggie could have been mayor of New York, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how much love we had for him. Like, no, like the whole Pac thing. I never got into that shit because it was like that. I seen that happening, and I'm like, yo, you're gonna see how many people jump on board with this shit, and that's what happened. You had New Yorkers being ignorant and stupid and jumping on the bandwagon, and they want to claim coast, and Cali did it, and it was just dumb for hip hop. That's the worst thing that ever happened for hip hop because we lost two legends, and that's something that I still can't understand why people is so they so proud of their location and try and them wanting you want to single out an artist because of where they from. That's just so stupid and ignorant. I never got into that. And you
Right.
see what happened when we lost two legends. But Big will always be one of the best for me. He'll always be top five for me. You know, so rest in peace to Big.
Definitely, man. Damn, it's about to be 4 o'clock in the morning. Shit. It's too over with,
This is the
man.
latest we've been on.
Yes, sir. Um, number two, Last Master KRS-One.
Yes,
It's my number two right there.
yes,
The best MC to represent hip hop, in my personal opinion.
for sure.
Probably my biggest influence when it comes to hip hop, rapping and stuff like that. Keyword, biggest influence and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, from Boogie Down Productions, that's another MC we kind of saw evolve in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
Criminal Minded,
Yeah.
he was all about da 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 day, da 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 day. Listen to my 9mm go bang.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You had fucking Bridges over like that low key that album was hood as fuck. I'm not
Oh
gonna
yeah.
hold you like
For sure.
when it comes to Criminal Minded and shit like that album, it was like intellectual street poetry. Like you can really say the album kind of broke down barriers for shit like 36 Chambers,
Right.
War Report, Get Rich Die Trying, and stuff like that too. Because I was listening to that fucking shit. I'm just like, yo, this shit kind of this shit be still be slapping. Word from our sponsors alone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That drum beat alone was felt very ill and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, then we know when Scott Lavac died and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you have, of course, he got into the whole conscious hip hop again. You know what I'm saying? With by any means, by all means necessary and stuff like that too. Which that was a very dope album. Like all the albums of BDP was very good in its own right. Even
Right.
though ghetto music kind of I had a little issues with that one, but
Uh-huh.
in terms of '89, I'd rather listen to that one over Craig G's The Kingpin.
Oh God.
Honestly, yeah.
I'll take mixed double up over that shit.
Cause now you're going too far.
That Craig G did not make no good albums.
That
His albums
second
were
Craig G
bad, boy.
album, that second Craig G album was way better than the first,
What?
but not by.
Fuck no.
Yes, he was actually rapping on that one. The production, he was actually
I didn't
rapping.
like no Craig G album. His album, I didn't like the production at all. And he tried to do this house music shit.
Hmm.
No.
But yeah, man, like compare, and then when it comes to like this edutainment and sex and violence and shit too,
Uh-huh.
those were very mature and stuff like that too. The shit he was talking about, like the war, the Gulf War to be exact, and stuff like that. Police brutality and shit too. You know what I'm saying? And just the anger, especially on sex and violent anger, he was in and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Um,
Facts.
And of course, the solo shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a Return of the Boom Bap nigga.
Yeah,
Because don't get me wrong, Self-Titled. A lot of people say Self-Titled was his best solo album, which I
that was
love.
good.
Self-Titled. That was a
Yeah,
very dope album. But Return of the Boom Bap for me
definitely.
was
Same,
it was just
same,
ill as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Yeah, man. Like I always love P is Still Free. I kind of like that more than the original P is Free.
Right,
Just the way Primo did that. Da, 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 da.
right. Facts.
Oh yeah. I was like, Carol's one was just going in. And I'm kind of mad that my car speaker fucked up. Like I'm gonna be mad not
Yeah.
blasting that fucking song on the speakers and shit too. Cause
Oh shit.
I be going to white neighborhoods. I used to Uber to Uber motherfuckers blasting that fucking song and shit like that. Like da 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 da.
Oh my god.
And then when it comes to subtitle, yeah, man, rappers are in danger. MCs act like they
Yes.
don't know. Ye Automatic or Fat Joe, which
Fire.
honestly, him and Joe could have made a whole album together because
Yep.
they never made some bad shit with one another.
Right.
Like Harris one was like, "Don't put that Cool and Dre shit with me, motherfucker." Right?
Right. Lean back.
Yeah, he want that boom back. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. But my personal favorite song from Karis One, and a lot of people will be very surprised.
Oh.
A Friend from I Got Next album.
Oh wow. That's your
Yeah,
favorite ever?
favorite song ever he's ever done.
Wow.
And
Wow.
it's crazy too because I Got Next
Oh,
was an album that I like. I like the album,
yeah.
but it has some of his best songs, but it has some of his most weirdest and songs too, like that
Yeah.
fucking one with Angie Martinez and Redman, Heartbeat,
Yeah, I didn't like
whatever.
that. Why was
But
Angie on here?
and I'm gonna cause some controversy. I never like
Oh,
step into a my world,
what?
whatever.
I love
I
that.
never. If I'm at a concert or I'm at a
Uh,
party and I hear that, okay, I'll be like,
right.
I'll get into that, but I
Mm,
never liked that song. In the Bad Boy remix with
right. Oh
Puffy,
boy.
yeah, don't even get. I was like, first of all, Karis One and Puffy.
Exactly. Like what?
You spent all your fucking life, your career, attacking mainstream commercial, but you do a
Exactly.
remix. That's got to be jive right there.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised that's Karis One's idea and shit, but
Exactly.
I liked A Friend because I feel like A Friend was very,
Da-da-da-da.
like, first of all, show business best beat, first of all.
Right. You think so? His best beat ever?
Yes.
Oh shit.
I'm causing a lot of controversy. Like it's either that one or Got the Flavor from the
Okay.
Goodfellas album and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
just the strength and Karis One just talking about, seeking friendship, but not in a pussy way like Drake does it and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's so fucking ill. You know what
Uh,
I'm saying? I fucking love that fucking track.
right.
You know what I'm saying? One thing I love about Karis One too, one of the best battle MCs, period, too.
Yeah. For
Like
sure.
the fucking shit with fucking Juice Crew, Boogie Down, and Juice Crew and shit like that. Like,
Right.
I know everyone loves Bridges Over, but I'm more of a South Bronx, because he was one of the first motherfuckers to present receipts when it comes to diss tracks and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because,
Facts.
back in the day when he has tracks like Just Ice's Cole Getting Them Too, when he was going after Curtis Blow and
Right.
stuff like that too. He pretty much was just attack and blow and stuff like that. But Karis One was just telling the history of South Bronx as the birthplace of hip hop, while
Right.
mentioning Grandmaster Flash and all that crap and stuff,
Mhm.
while still dissing the fuck out of like Shan and Marley Marl and Mr. Magic and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's one of the best reasons why I love diss tracks, when motherfuckers drop receipts and drop historical facts and stuff like that.
Right.
Like Thomas the Bitch and You is another perfect example.
Facts.
Even though I don't agree with the fact that he said he ain't made shit dope since America's Most Wanted, I'm like, okay, Common, you're going a bit too far
Maybe,
right now.
maybe that's how they were feeling in Shot Town. That could be for shock value too. Like what?
I'm just like, hold on, I ain't going against death certificate, predator, lethal injection.
Yeah.
I ain't going that far, Common. I love you on
Right.
the road, Comm. You on the road, Lonnie. You on the road, Lonnie. But come on,
Yo.
like,
Yo.
calm down, Lonnie.
Facts.
Well, KRS One to this day is my second favorite MC, and yeah, man, I fucking love it. I love this shit. So
I number two for me is Pac, Tupac Shakur, a great artist. This man said whatever was on his mind, and he made you feel whatever he was feeling. And some people would say that he contradicted himself, but I feel like he was just being a human being, and we go through different mood swings and stages, and whether he was happy or sad or mad, or he made you feel it. And you know, he had his joints for the women, and he would dog women out. Then he had the uplifting joints, and you know, letter to the president, and one of my favorite joints. You know, talking about the country and the state of the world. You know, white man's world on Machiavelli. Great track, and he had went to war with Biggie, hit him up. Great this song, loved it. Against all odds was great. You know, Bomb First to me is one of the best album openers ever for an album, and this man was legendary. He was not just an MC but a poet. I don't know how people could sit there and say that he's not he didn't have bars. I'm like y'all not
wait,
hearing what I'm hearing. Then.
wait, Biggie said Biggie
Yeah,
ain't got no
well, I mean
bars.
they feel like I've been in discussions where people feel like
You said Pac ain't got no
he's not as
bars.
lyrical as Nas. I'm like this man was a poet. Like was y'all not
Exactly.
reading? Did y'all not read the autobiography of Tupac Shakur? Like I have it. He has poems in there. I don't remember Nas making it having no book come out with a poem in it or Jay. You know what I'm saying? Like this man was not just an MC. He was a poet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He didn't have to be. He
he
didn't
was
have
in
to get
art
all.
school.
He didn't have to get all lyrical, miracle, and shit like Cannabis. But this man, I don't know what niggas is hearing. I'm like Tupac is definitely an MC.
Cannabis is the most overrated lyricist in hip hop. Yeah, I said it.
Well, I just
I
made an
said it.
example, but I'm like, yeah, he didn't have to be all complex with his words like cannabis or Chino XL, but he definitely was an MC. You know what I'm saying?
He
So
wasn't no ASAP Rock either.
right, yeah, he wasn't no ASAP Rock either. You know what I'm saying? And you know, there wasn't too many artists even in this era that showed whatever emotion that they were feeling on their sleeve, and Pac was a master at that. And when he had beef with somebody, he called them out. He wasn't dropping those subliminals. A lot of motherfuckers drop subliminals and you don't know who the hell they talking about. Pac was like, LL, fuck you. Bad boy, fuck you. Mob Deep, Jay,
See the
Suzi's
Lowest
the
Tucker.
brat. Yeah, everybody. He's like he came out and he said your name, which is what they should be doing anyway. If you got if you want to battle somebody, you got beef, say they fucking name. Don't drop no subliminal. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he'll always be one of my favorites ever because this man gave no fucks. He said what he wanted to say, and he was one of our leaders that was gunned down. And he's a legend, definitely. All of his albums, all of his albums before he died were great. All that posthumous bullshit, except for are you still down? They could have that. I don't care to discuss none of that shit. That shit was garbage. But all of his albums, Tupacalypse Now was dope. Strictly for my niggas, underrated. Me Against the World, classic. All Eyes on Me, classic. Machiavelli, classic album. He's a goat, definitely. Yes, and he's still one of the most influential, hip hop artists that's relevant to this day.
I
You know,
agree. People still trying to use his name for
oh yeah,
clout. Cough, cough,
definitely.
T-Pain.
Yep.
Uh, my number one favorite rapper, MC of all time. Gotta go with Rakim and shit, man. Gotta go. I, I can't go against. I can't
Yes.
go against him, you know. Rakim Allah. Rakim the greatest motherfucker that made hip hop lyricism like complex. The motherfucker, like when you think of MCing, he should be the first motherfucker to come to your mind and shit. I'm not no NBA young boy and stuff like that. Nonsense.
Shit.
Shit. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah. Rakim, like, and to think, Eric B was about to pick Freddie Fox over like if Freddie Fox would not have missed that appointment, we probably wouldn't have like a lot of the class as it is. I nothing against Bumpy Knuckles, Freddie Fox, nothing
Right.
against him and shit like that too. But Rakim was just he was just phenomenal as a rapper.
Yeah.
Just the eternal rhyming he was doing and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Like I definitely felt like he's definitely one of those MCs that he was the first motherfucker to really. He didn't just like when you go into like a hip hop live show. He wanted to make the words more important than the music itself and stuff like that too.
Right.
Especially as evidence in songs like "To the Listener" from Follow the Leader. Excuse
Mm-hmm.
me. Like "Paid in Full," Airbnb and Rakim. That to me is like the benchmark when it comes to lyricism and just the new way of style and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? First of all, the album cover is one of my favorite album covers, not just in hip hop and the music and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Cash background, them rocking the fucking jewelry, the King was a dapper dance and all that fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? All dressed in black
Right.
and stuff like that too. Like that just alone symbolizes power
Yeah.
itself. When it comes to music and shit. You know what I'm saying? Paid in Full, which I'm trying to get the Paid in Full, the Cold Crush. I'm trying to get a single with the remix and stuff
Right.
like that.
Uh,
That's the single. I like the remix a bit better than the album version and stuff like that too.
right.
Move the Crowd is actually my favorite track when it comes to Paid in Full. Um, I know You Got Soul was pretty good. I love the Soul Train performance of that song too.
Uh,
But my favorite album they've ever came out with, yeah, this might be a surprise to many people. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em.
oh, okay.
To me,
Right.
Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em.
Mm-hmm.
That was Rakim's best performance. That whole album was Rakim's best performance as a rap. The way he was riding fast over those the beats. Large Professor.
Right.
Yes, I said Large Professor. The majority of that album, I don't give a fuck what nobody says and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Go check out the review I did years ago and stuff too.
Oh,
Mahogany is the greatest hip hop love song. I like that more than I Need Love,
mahogany.
Song Cry. Uh, First of all, it wasn't a pussy fire love song. I'm gonna be real with you.
Uh,
It wasn't the "Oh baby, I love you." "Oh baby, let's go get married and let's go listen to Keith Sweat and make some
oh,
babies together." Like, no, it wasn't that kind of love song. It was a straight down player ass track. First of all, the way he was rhyming over that Al Green drum break and stuff like that, it was
right.
so fucking smooth. It was lyrical. It was
Yeah.
so fucking lyrical
Yep.
and stuff like that. And I hate the fact that stupid ass Robin Thicke did his own stupid ass version of that song and stuff. Trying to call that shit Miss Sexy. Get the fuck out of
He did.
here.
He did a version of that song.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you, man.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna send this shit to you.
Wow,
But
that's
then
crazy.
one of my other favorite Rakim songs too. I'm gonna really surprise y'all with this. Keep the Beat from Don't Sweat the Technique.
Oh,
Woo, oh yeah, man, shit. Boy, man. I'm
yeah.
telling you, like Rakim was just one of the illest motherfuckers and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? And I have to say, like that album itself, they were really getting like a lot of radio airplay with that album too, because they had the Juice song, the title track, the Casualties of War, and stuff like that too. But they ran into some contract issues, of course. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I do agree with you, Try. As much as a fan of Rakim, he does have one good solo album and stuff like
Yes.
that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real. Even as a Rakim, great solo album because I like some songs from the Master, but it's not touching 18th letter and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like for 1997, even though everybody was hypnotized by the Bad Boy and the Cash Money, I felt like 18th letter was like one of those joints, man. It was fucking fire and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like that love song he did and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was Rakim. That was probably Rakim just coming back saying, you know what? I'm back. I'm better than ever. But one of my favorite Rakim guest appearances. Yeah, I want to cause more controversy tonight.
More?
Yeah. Mobb Deep.
We got one more left.
Yeah, Mobb Deep. The song he did with Mobb Deep for the Hoodlum soundtrack.
Hoodlum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, what y'all fucking know about that shit? You know what I'm saying? What y'all fucking
it
know
was
about
dope.
that
Dope
shit?
collab. That's your favorite?
That's my favorite Rakim guest appearance ever.
Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. See, when I say I listen to these artists try, I don't just pussyfoot, nigga.
I
I
hear you.
listen to every motherfucking thing.
I hear you.
Yeah, like every motherfucker. I studied all these motherfuckers. Every motherfucker I mentioned on the top 50 list.
Right.
I'm gonna go on like a little Kanye rant, but not no Kanye rant. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Every motherfucker I put on this motherfucking list, I studied their fucking style.
Right.
From Rakim to Jay Z, Light, Latifah, Doom, X, A B C D, E F G H I J. I study all their motherfucking style. Y'all
Oh
can't tell
shit.
me shit. Y'all can't tell me motherfucking shit, boy. Like I studied all their styles and shit. Like I read all their fucking lyrics, even fucking trash lyrics, trash out from Snoop. I studied all that motherfucker. I'm not just pussyfooting. I do this shit. This
I
is
know.
in the words of Jada Kiss. This I don't do Instagram. This shit I do. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
Fuck out
That's
of here.
that's why I fuck with you because you know your shit.
Shit. Yeah, shit. You
You know
know
what
what
I'm
I'm saying? Like
saying?
I do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't do Instagram. I gotta go on my Jada Kiss, man. You know? Hold on. Shit, yeah. I'm not gonna play the video tonight. I'm too tired right now.
Right.
Shit, but still, boy. This is the shit I do. I study all this fucking shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Right.
yeah, I don't want to take up too much time because I'm gonna let you say your number
And
one and shit.
it's good. It's good to hear different answers than the usual. You know what I'm saying? Because it like you said, your favorite is "Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em." Paid in Full is like the general consensus. So the fact
Exactly.
that somebody thinks outside the box and feels like, okay, hold up, when you all talk about this album, let's mention this album as well. And that's what I've been always I've always said that. Like, yes, Michael Jackson's Thriller was groundbreaking, but let's not act like he got only one classic album.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And even with Nas, even though Nas chooses to celebrate that one first album, let's not pretend that he didn't have multiple classics.
Right.
And people don't mention those classics, so we're gonna mention those classics.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
this is why black music should not just pushed under the motherfucking rug and stuff like
Right,
that too.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sick and tired of that fucking shit. By the way, I sent you that Robin Thicke song
Uh
on
huh.
Instagram. By the way, just letting you know.
I'm gonna check that out. Well, my number one, no surprise, Nas.
Yes.
Nas is like an Afrocentric Asian, half man, half amazing man.
Ah,
When that song
preach,
dropped, oh my god, like
preach.
that song, that was hip hop quotable in the source. I remember reading those lyrics bar for bar. I'm like, yo, this dude is on another planet. You know what I'm saying? He was way ahead of his time. Like definitely, that's a groundbreaking album. Illmatic was groundbreaking, and he changed the game with having an all-star lineup of producers from Premier to Tip to Large Pro, Les, Pete Rock. That he definitely changed the game with that because after that, everybody started doing that shit.
Exactly.
Before then, nobody was doing that shit. You had one producer. It was one artist, one producer. If you look at Mama Said Knock You Out, that's LL and Molly Moore. That's it. There was no track masters on that album. There was no, tumbling dice on that album. No havoc. You know what I'm saying? It was one producer and one MC. And Nas changed the game with that album. And even now, it's still hard to do a classic album with a sorted lineup of producers. It's not every day that shit happens. Everything just
Exactly.
got to line up right. You know what I'm saying? And he was perfect on all every track on there. Like I know it's only 10 tracks, but it was great. And he gave us multiple classics. It was written his Mafioso album, great album. To me, it could easily be the best album of '96. I think the Fugees will have something to say about that though. But
Oh,
it was
yeah.
written as a classic. I love I Am. People shit on that album, and I don't know if it's because the bootleg tracks that were leaked or whatever, but that's the way that it was released is still to me a great album from him. You said with or without it being a double album, it was still a great album. I love that those a lot of those songs on there. You know, me, Money's My Bitch, and We Will Survive. Nas is like, you know what I'm saying? Was it Favor for a Favor? Classic album. Love that joint. Stillmatic, great album. He had the most legendary rap battle ever against Jay Z, and to me, he beat Jay Z with Ether. That's all he needed was just that one song, and he destroyed Jay Z with that. And that, I mean, and even before then, I remember back in the '90s just being on my front stoop and having those arguments with friends of mine, like, yo, who's better, Jay Z and Nas? And it was always be Nas for me. And even though I'm from Brooklyn and I love Jay, but it was always Nas for me because Nas to me was the deeper lyricist. And we didn't give a fuck about mainstream. That was all Jay. Jay was designed for that. Nas is like, nah, I'm not mainstream, man. I'm here to teach and spread the knowledge to people and shit. And he was great, and he destroyed Jay with Ether. Gave us Godsend. That was a great album as well. And yo, even I appreciate his latter albums now. Like doing this whole Nas week, it's made me appreciate the latter albums like Untitled. That was a great album, and Life Was Good. You know, Distant Relatives, severely slept on. A dope collab album he did with Damian Marley. And yo, this like Nas discography is strong, yo, and he's still doing it. Again, relevancy in 2022 is a big thing. And we have the best MC of all time, in my opinion, that's relevant now, dropping joints with Hit Boy. And he's about to drop part three. I hope it's good. I believe it will be good because Magic was a great album. And I'm like, yo, if he could drop a dope album with Hit Boy with Magic, he can definitely give us a dope King's Disease 3. So I'm waiting. I can't wait for us to review that album. That's gonna be epic,
Yeah, good ass.
you know,
Y'all, that concludes
definitely.
the top 50 MCs and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So glad we finally did this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
glad we came across this shit. You know, few announcements, but I do gotta get ready to go to bed and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I got I gotta see. Wednesday is gonna be the Queen discography breakdown
Okay.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Really can't wait to get into that one.
And we doing something on Tuesday?
Yeah. See, I'm using my phone right now, so I can't
Okay.
go to my schedule. Can you go to your schedule and
Yeah.
see
Let
the
me, let me
schedule for
see.
Tuesday?
What we doing? Um,
No, no, the James Brown the Payback album.
oh
Yeah,
yes, that's Tuesday.
yeah,
And Wednesday, the Queen discography breakdown.
yeah,
Yes, can't wait for that.
yeah. I'm going to go out of town Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and shit like that too. I know the day before Halloween, I'm going to review a horrorcore album and stuff like that too. You
Yes.
know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I was thinking about doing some shit like like pre-record something for Halloween though, but I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't
Let's
know
do that.
yet. The way how my schedule is these next couple
Yeah.
of days, I gotta find some time and shit like that. But I'll text you this though, you
All
know.
right.
Yeah, man. And I just dropped part two of the CD recap and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna do part three. Well, I was gonna film another part tonight because I already got part three recorded, but
Right.
I'm gonna probably do that tomorrow because I already got the day off tomorrow anyway, so I have to get time to do shit right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. This concludes silent video and stuff like that. Y'all check out the Nas album and stuff too. Of course, it's still in print and stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And appreciate this try as usual.
Out.
And I'll see y'all later.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.